And we're live! Hello and welcome to the 57th episode of Quant Gang with me, Maddie ALLin, Future Us, Karim the Dream, and Marco the Hexican. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Yep.
What's going on,
Good
people?
to see everybody, as always. Another episode of I Told You So and having a good time. We got great news today, so apologize.
Before we start, Karim, I got to cut you off. I'm sorry. Bro, you are Nostradamus. You was right. Super Bowl, 2 minutes later, everything crashed. Like, dude, you're the shit, bro. Bro, I was literally telling my family members, like, yo, this is going to crash. Watch your accounts, guys. Look, everybody add a hex. I'm like, watch your accounts real quick. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, Quad Gang.
Yeah. History rhymes.
That's crazy, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. We do it for the love. So, and yes, and for the viewers, I have an event. I'm in Puerto Rico right now.
You're in Puerto Rico. Whoa, how is it there?
Well, so far so good. I've been in obviously the main city, San Juan and Old San Juan. Very historical, a lot of colors.
San Juan, bro.
Great. You know, the roads are not as bad as people have said. You know,
keep on traveling. But it's not bad, but yeah.
Starting tomorrow and more, we're going to tour the island and do some more stuff. But then again, it's to be expected. You're in an island, like it's the US, but it's not the US. So you know what I mean. But if you got your basic infrastructure, look, I'm talking to you guys right now. Internet connection is fairly good. So you know what I'm saying. Food's amazing. Cost of living is great. I mean, again, I live in the Northeast, so for me, right? If you understand that New York, it's not cheap, but it's affordable. So for island life, and then if you're in a nice part of town, so to speak. But yeah,
awesome. So Karim is traveling. I will be driving across the entire United States, 44 hours in the next week.
Wow.
So we can explain everything that we're doing after the intro here. Marco the Hexican and Future Us are here, legends in their own right. So welcome to Quant Gang, everybody.
And this is from Maddie ALLin of Hex Therapy Live. After Richard's done with stream, I hope it's still hours away. The new Hex Quant and I will go live to show off a new chart for Hex USD price appreciation with staked interest factored in.
Hex is at 19 cents. We have thousands of people watching the show each week. Shout out to you. Hit the like and subscribe button now. We're here every Tuesday for 55 weeks now?
Yes, sir. 57. Well, yeah, because we got that extra episode for my birthday.
Who's counting? Who's counting?
Great. More than a year, having a great time. You know, living our best life. We have so many great news today. It's going to be awesome. And again, big shout out to my big brother in the Hex game. Shout out to the Godwell, man. We got to start with that news. Oh, my God. $1 billion Hex. Bro. Guys, quick math.
Wait, what happened? I haven't been on Twitter, man. I've been so busy.
What happened was Karim is no longer the Dream Accounts anymore. But that's the Dream Account.
What's going on?
So basically, well, for my defense, I've always said since the beginning, I said, Maddie, Godwell, I'm in training. You know what I'm saying? He's my idol. He's my mentor. He's showing the way he's been doing. So basically, Maddie, he staked $1 billion Hex flat for Quattro Cinco. And what's amazing about that, all the things that we've been talking about, right?
Is this the ETH? This is the ETH whale, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
C5.
well.
Genesis ETH whale. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Epic.
because he
Wow.
doubled down. Because at first, when he had his first, for people who are old enough, remember the story, he had a 1-year stake with massive big payday that came out, and then he did t-shirt preservation, which is great.
That was
What
March
he did was,
15th, right? I think it was.
Back then, yeah. So what he did was, as soon as the stake ended, he restaked enough to convert back the t-shirt that he lost. So he kept that preservation. He used his big payday at the time, parked that money, and then he could just use the rest, which he has, moved to different account. He was just waiting, and now things are getting better. This time around, this is next level. This is like probably some accrued interest plus some other stakes that he's just been kind of waiting. And it shows commitment because, it's a lot of money, right? So you're like, hey, where's this ecosystem going? It's a big, big vote of confidence because they obviously believe in the community and, making money. So it's like that other side of the money that was just sitting around for like rainy day or whatever. I think he combined that plus the interest that he has been accruing. And then he just parked the billion hex quattro single 149,000 plus t-shirt. Just to put in perspective, that one stake is a whale by itself.
No, bro. How stupid is that, right?
Wow.
That's
And,
crazy.
hey, and he gets a clone. He gets a clone.
Yes, he gets the copy.
So he made 2 more whales.
Yeah. He get the 3x multiplier, right? So it's as if he staked 3 billion hex, because he did one times 3. Plus he gets the copy, so it's times 6. He gets the preservation. And then Quattro Cinco, like to put in perspective, it's almost 1%, right? Because right now, if we average about 10.7 million t-shirt in the pool, you know what I mean? To be well in the 1%, you need about 160,000 t-shirts. So that one thing alone, it's like 0.8% almost. But very soon, as t-shirt gets deflationary, the one stake by itself is a whale. It's sick. So he add that to his stash, eating the pool from the inside, which is sick.
This is probably historic in terms of immutable DeFi. This is probably the most value that has ever been locked, and for the longest when it comes to immutable stakes. Exactly. You can lock up your Ethereum and unlock it anytime you want, but when it comes to Hex, it's basically it's an immutable situation where you're going to pay a penalty, especially for a stake that's this long. So it was wow, that's incredible.
The
so
ultimate
max on
right there.
Every level.
So chat, what Maddie's saying in English terms is he just proved he has the biggest diamond balls in all of crypto going forward, because that's ridiculous, man. $200 million 15 years out, like that's mind-boggling, right? Like that's
roughly $200 million at current price before price appreciation. And the coolest thing about that is, again, that somebody just put in the chat, boom, boom, tripod, $178,000 a day. Okay. What? Talking about some interest. Who's going to mess with Hex? You want money? You want mad gains? And again, it's so funny because he's doing what everybody else is doing. And I like those because I want everybody to understand that's what it means after Hex do another 100x, 1000x. If people remember the story, right? Quick math, dream account, mine, right? Started $30 a day, 15 grand today. But the thing is, that's you in the future. Imagine whatever number you are now, and then start multiplying it 10x, 100x, 1000x, 10, 15 years from now, as Hex becomes more and more scarce. That could be you. The powerful story about the God Well is how actually he became God Well back in the Ethereum days. What's gangster, he has proven for years that he has diamond hands because he did ICO money, and then that thing just sat there for years when Ethereum was worth nothing to, whatever it is. So there's not even
when Ethereum broke records, he still didn't sell at all. It's beautiful, man.
So now imagine something that he can do the same thing, and while you're waiting, you're getting paid. Man, say less. So yeah, ultimate flex. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? Like we're not just preaching for just the little guy. Big wallets are watching and they do the math themselves. So
there's 2 things I want to discuss about what was beautiful the past 2 weeks of Hex community and all that stuff, right? One, our founder, Mr. AKA Richard Hart, did something beautiful for the community. He bought a black diamond, 4-point-something million, dedication for the Quattro Cinco stakes. And then you had Gawa. I was like, oh, really? Thank you, Richard. Here's $200 million 15 years out. Come on. How beautiful is that, right? Like, that compliment.
Things are heating up.
Woo. And lastly, too, I put a tweet out earlier that got, I think, a beautiful traction, right? And thank you for everyone who saw the tweet. I tweeted something similar that the guy who actually did this, right, Godwill, months ago, he said Hex has potential to be $100, $1,000, or $10,000 down the road.
Sure.
And to say something like that is to say something like that. But to take $200 million now and to take it out 15 years, it shows a lot what this guy means in his own words and his own belief in Hex. That's powerful. You have no other Bitcoin Max or any other crypto that's saying, you know, I'm going to lock out this much money out because I believe in my crypto or my community and stuff like that. This guy did it. Oh, she did it. Amazing. Like, what can you say after that?
Beautiful. And then
it's historic.
It's historic, bro.
Yeah, the timing right around just before
NFT that tweet,
starts, you know, because the day ticked over. Like we always say, oh, like, hey, wait until the day ticked over. It's locked in now. So, but I mean, obviously, I knew you would never cancel it, but it's just like, it's just so great to see. The timing is amazing. The ultimate Hex flex. And then, like, I saw another thing on Twitter that was like literally the meme of the year for me, almost a decade. There's like the Ethereum bros with the fake, no offense, the NFT with a fake rock, and then Richard with the real rock for 3 million. And then you say they made the comparison between ETH 2.0 pulse chain.
There was a lot of great memes, bro. A lot of them.
Yeah. Think about it. Some of those garbage NFT are worth quoted at millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
you know, and Karim, I'm not sure if you noticed this too. So there were a lot of articles and news and all that stuff that wouldn't mention Hex or Richard Hart, but there was a nice amount that actually did. It was a balance. So back then, only maybe 2% out of 90, 100% will actually acknowledge these type of things that the community or Richard Hart has done. This time around, it was more of 40, 60%. It's the gates are falling. Like people are willing to like open up. And even haters of Richard Hart lately has been praising him a nice way, changing their tone. So just like Manny said, we're getting there, man. We're getting there.
Yeah, this meteor, right, that is also the largest diamond of all time. The reason that we know that it came from space and that it's 2.5 billion years old is because of the osbornite that is found within the, you know, microscopic layers of the diamond. And it's that material that does not exist on Earth and cannot be formed through the normal process of creating a diamond deep within the Earth's core due to pressure. And so this diamond is different than almost, well, pretty much every other just diamond like Hex, on Earth. And it's, you know, it plays into the numerology of Hex because it's a 555.55 carat diamond, and it was originally about 700 or 800 carats, but it found some miracle way to cut it with exactly 55 facets.
How crazy
and get it to that precise of a weight is, if you ask anybody in the diamond business, that's a miracle in and of itself too.
You know, it took 3 years to do that, right? About almost 3 years.
That's right.
To do that. How crazy is that?
To begin with. Yep, sir.
Like, it's perfect.
It's crazy.
3 years, right? To make perfectly balanced, perfectly proportioned, out of this world. It's similar to Hex, right? Kind of similar, I think, right? Beyond unique, right?
And it's already been to the moon, swung right by on the way
Sorry,
here.
Elon. Sorry, buddy. You can't buy this. Sorry. You had your shot.
I also read a couple articles. This was the thing that blew me away. Kind of funny. It's apparently, so they say, it was found. There's only 2 probability location. Central African Republic. Can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit
That's crazy.
up. I was like, what? Homeland. I know we got diamonds out there. Otherwise,
that's crazy, bro.
So, or Brazil. But then again, when you look at the map, right, where it cut Brazil shape and then the inner circle of Africa, kind of get that section. Because it's where the environment was similar. So when they track it back to the all the minerals nearby and everything like that, it's mind-blowing. Super fucking strong, because those black diamonds are usually used for industrial drilling. That's the thing you use to cut tunnel and go deep onto the earth. Like the thing that basically cut everything. Like it's insane. So and
that's why Richard Hart bought it to break the gatekeeping with the diamond. Just drill right through that shit.
And it's strong. When you say diamond hands, it doesn't get any better than that.
This was a $4 million purchase. And what better marketing could you have than all the press that this diamond got. It was all over the news, all around the world. NPR picked it up, you know, major news stations. It was really out there, and a lot of people engage because it's something that appeals to a lot of people. Diamonds have always been something that
absolutely,
you know, was artificially rare, right? But still shows a lot of beauty and has a lot of history, and so it's it's really cool to have the biggest one, and it was only $4 million. Like that's
you know
cheaper
why
than a Super Bowl.
It's a steal, Maddie. It's a steal.
What's the trading volume on that diamond, though?
Nomics would not list it in the top 200.
Damn. Okay.
At the end of the day, it's perfect marketing, right? Because think about all the people who was interested in buying that, or was tempted to buying that, or know somebody who wanted to buy that, right? These are elites of the elites, right? You have literally the jewelry industry, the art collecting industry, the artifact kind of, you know, all those people probably saw that one way or another, and they all got the alert. It was sold. They all went to see who bought it. So once they know it's Richard Hart and they see his lifestyle and the way he does things, they're gonna be interested in this type of guy, right? He's unique, he's different, he throws money like that, billionaire, etc. One of the biggest cryptos out there. Like, it's going to be interesting, guys. Like this, I think it was marketing genius for Richard to do that. Like beyond marketing.
What most people don't realize, maybe they don't know, is the diamond actually has been touring the world. You know, it was in Dubai. Like, so my friend actually saw it there too at the expo. You know, he was touring Dubai, touring in LA. You know, and then London. So it's been already before even it was quote unquote sold or put on the auction, because the previous owner, anonymous, whatever, hided a rock for like 20 years, never show it to any. So that's also add to the mystery, right? Never been seen. Talk about, I mean, this is next level. Like NFT can never get to that level. You know what I'm saying?
Did they ever announce who was the owner?
20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Did they own a DeLorean?
Yeah.
What about the DeLorean?
I was just wondering if the person who this diamond mysteriously appeared, I wondered if they happened to own a DeLorean. Just
no comment.
So you add that was, again, all media around the world related to those things, because they have to talk about it because such a big it is the biggest in the world, period. Diamond, point, end of story. So even the haters, they have to switch their tone because this is something huge. You can't fake that. Again, it's kind of like a blockchain transaction. It's like, it's there, so unique. That a great deal, already worth more value. And again, smart investment, because Richard always buy things that appreciates in value over time, right? Just makes really so much sense. And the ethos, match made in heaven, like he said. I mean, the Quattro Cinco is literally spooky. And then the story behind that is the Hamza, the hand, you know, which is the palm in Dubai. You know, it's a synonym of, like, it's like a good lucky charm and prosperity and longevity. So that's why it was the shape of the hand, the 5. So number 5 is very powerful, and we got Quattro Cinco of the wazoo. So it's just amazing.
This has been whale week here in Hex. There's been so much whale activity. So Richard, a alleged whale, you know, bought the largest diamond in the world that was made specifically for Hex, right? And then we also saw the God Whale today did the largest immutable DeFi transaction in the history of the world. $200 million worth of Hex was staked for Quattro Cinco. Another
perspective, Maddie, funny enough what you say, because I remember back in the day, quick maths, when Godwell came in and then he did that big market buy that was insane, that doubled the price. It was roughly about 189 million Hex that he bought at the time when the price was extremely, and he staked for Quattro Cinco more than that. That should tell you something. Again, masses, because that candle was insane, 10,000 ETH when the ratios were way lower, so he was getting a lot more Hex, and he staked more than that single big buy. So it's amazing.
It's a vote of confidence in the entire system for sure, and in the viability of the entire stack that's being created. We can see the stack here. It's Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. Anyway, there was another whale, another whale action that happened that I wanted to report on. We know that Overwatch partners, Rackham, did a $500,000 donation.
Shout out to him. That's dope.
To the Highest of Stakes documentary, which was documenting Richard buying the largest diamond in the history of the world. And so shout out, to all the whales that seem to be cooperating, that seem to be working together and solving the tragedy of the commons, not buying into the normal middleman situation that most companies, most companies, they would pay for their NASCAR stuff with money that they've dumped on your head. Most companies would be paying Facebook and Google for advertising, but instead Richard, bought the diamonds. The God whale did the greatest stake in DeFi history. And, Rackham is donating to the Highest of Stakes, which I think, again, is going to be something that coalesces and builds with our momentum. We've got the Daytona 500 coming up that we're going to talk about here in a second. And we've also got the Hex Conference coming up in a few short days. So.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of weeks, but yeah, it's going to be epic. And I like this comment here, somebody, Pulse Beat says, God will stake more today in Hex money dollar than the country of El Salvador invested in Bitcoin. Let that sink in. I mean,
wow.
That is a powerful statement. That is true.
Wow.
Let that sink in.
Thanks for sharing that.
That's dope.
That's crazy when you think about that.
That's just, yeah.
Like, how beautiful is that, right?
Mind blowing.
The God whale just might be the, what do they call that? The singularity. It might have already happened. The AI, superintelligence. This is how it's going to ultimately take over the world.
I wrote an article.
Us, of course.
I wrote an article that talks about AI getting on Twitter. And we know that the God whale's on Twitter, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, he is. The real one. The other.
Confirmed.
Yeah, he's there. Which is pretty great.
Speaking of which, last time I mentioned that JJ, you can segue if you want, had won the Daytona 500 before, and that was wrong. But it was also a what do you call it? A reminder for people to do their own research, and someone in the chat did, and then my computer crashed and I didn't get to apologize. So. Sorry, another
he has one of the he didn't want it. He has one of the best time that's been done before.
He's done a lot. I think I was watching. I think he's been around NASCAR anyway for about a decade or maybe two or something like that.
He's been driving since he was 14 years old.
Yeah, he won I think 3 major awards in the same year, and only I think Gordon. Who was that? I forgot which other racer did something similar, and he actually won more races than that individual too. So that's why they call him like a Triple Crown champion, something like that.
And I think if I were to quote what I heard from Ricky once, is he made it to I think 10th position because he run the Daytona before, and he was like, there's like 40 plus cars, so 40 cars, so 10 out of 40, that's not bad.
That's awesome.
I don't know what year it was, but that's.
Hey, I'll take it.
25%.
From what I can sort of glean from what I've recently been looking into about this whole Daytona 500, and the whole NASCAR thing, a lot of stuff has to come together to be number one over the line at the end. It's crazy.
Math, it's physics, it's every second, the pavement, the tires, timing,
endurance,
everything,
consistency, just absolutely everything. Because they're all limited to the same power output and stuff. And it's
the chess game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand.
Even one little turn, just a little bit alters everything. Like these guys have to be like super beyond focus every single second. People think you just get in the car, I'm just driving, move out the way. No, it's not that way, man. Like it's literally a science to it. It's really a science to it. That's why they get paid the big bucks like that. It's really a science.
Staying conscious and staying in the moment when you're doing 200 laps around the same basically oval circuit.
Yeah, man.
And that's got to be a thing just in itself.
400 miles per hour, like the adrenaline, other cars, the engine, the roaring, like the guy yelling in your ear, do this, do that, like, and to stay focused and not make that just a couple of centimeters off, like you could change your direction, your speed and everything. Like it matters.
I raced a Lambo when I was in Vegas a couple summers ago with my buddy who actually introduced me to Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, we both got dizzy from driving so fast.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. And so like, yeah, these NASCAR racers,
because of the
drivers
G-force,
are on the next level. Yeah,
that's
just the speed that stuff's going past. Yeah.
Yeah, you need special equipped seats and seat belts to really wrap you until.
That happened when I was at the top of a steep hill on a snowy mountain one time a few years ago, and I just sort of pointed downwards and shot down this thing. No business being there. And it does. The stuff starts to go past so darn fast that your brain starts to question whether you're still in touch with reality. It's really strange,
right?
It's a strange thing.
And a couple of things that he did too, which I think was nice. I think today was the first kind of practice, having the car go around. He took a couple of pictures. I think some people are already there, like taking some pictures. But oh boy, does that car look sexy out there, man! Woo!
Hey, shout out to Cabana, man.
Color, the gradient.
What's up?
This is my guy, Cabana.
The 38% APY right by the exhaust, man.
Yeah, dude. And you know what's funny? Like whoever designed that car is beautiful, Karim, right? Like whoever designed the car, like every angle the camera moves, the logo, the fonts, everything's just perfect. It's not too big, not too small. You see it no matter what angle. Freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, and it's not too much. Because if there's too many things, it's hard to focus.
Exactly.
BigHex.com, the logo, what it does, the APY, like Richard said.
And it looks mean as hell, man. That car looks angry. It looks aggressive. Oh, yeah. It's so cool, man. I showed it to my son, and my son's a big car, like monster truck, all that stuff. When I showed it to him, like he couldn't believe. When I told him about it, he couldn't believe it, right? And when I showed him the pictures, he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then when I showed him the clip of what Molly and these guys posted earlier, the grin on my child's face was hilarious. He's like, "Dad, that's cool. Like, look at the Hex car." He's like, "Cool, you know." It's pretty
so
dope,
proud, right? Like,
yeah, man. Like he would look around like,
"This is our car." You know what I'm saying? That's great.
It was so funny, man. It's pretty cool, man.
They're reminding people of that shit.
Congratulations to the Hex.
Shout out to everyone who donated to that too. I didn't even know it had happened until it had happened. But
I had to. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think the community had to. Like that's one thing.
Every little donation. Yeah.
You had to do. You know.
$630,000, I believe. Incredible.
5 days, man. Insane.
It's amazing. And from what JJ was saying in a recent interview I stumbled on, it sounds like we sort of made it happen for them last minute, sort of thing too. Like, because he was just saying that the sponsorship had sort of come a bit late in the game, and they had to really hustle to find a car and get it all sorted and everything. So I mean,
a powerful story. You know why?
Just in time Mexicans. Yeah,
because it gave us the opportunity to step in. And the cool thing is, another fun fact is, the company that kind of like the motorsport company that kind of supports him in a way, they have basically like again, I'm paraphrasing what I heard from Ricky. They basically have 2 drivers.
Yeah.
And they basically, the other driver obviously has his own sponsor, and JJ didn't have his sponsor, but the other driver, the same company, this guy is also like a top driver. The company's been known for a while. Like the simple fact that they even have JJ as one of the drivers, that says a lot, because they're not wasting their time. And they just needed the sponsor in order to do the race, right? Because it costs a lot of money. Yeah. So the fact that we're able to step up, right timing, we pick up a good driver, a good motorsports company. That's important, like Marco was talking about, equipment, tire, like, you should, because you're only as good as your team. You could be the best driver in the world. If your team no good, you can't go far. You're losing.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure. You're done.
I'm not sure, Karim, gentlemen, if you know. So JJ did an interview, I think earlier this week, about being interviewed, talking about his experience. He did shout out the community and everybody else, and he talked about how hard is it to qualify for this thing, because there's not that many cars out there, right? They don't have that many cars, so not a lot of teams could actually make it just to survive in this situation. So for us to actually get a car at the moment, it was like a miracle in its place, right? Like, it's hard because there's no spare parts. These are 6th generation cars, right? So it's like, and some teams are actually scared to actually do this practice run, because if they wreck the car, they're out. That's it. They only have one car, right? So it's a big deal, guys. And I think the biggest deal about this is this: if he does well, right, and let's say top 10, whatever it is, right, I think there's going to be other other type of sports, motorsports, all these type of events that they're gonna look at. You never know, they might reach out to the community, be like, hey guys, would you like to sponsor us? We need a sponsor and stuff like that. You don't know where this goes, guys, right? It starts off in this and then it spreads and spreads. So, like, I can't wait, man. Like, it's so dope.
And it's ultimate bragging rights. We can brag about this for aeons to go. You get what I'm saying? Like all those things that we keep doing as a community, those are like ultimate flex bragging rights. Like what Richard has done, and then boom, the $27 million Hex Sounds Foundation.
Gen 7 car. I thought it was Hex, but yeah. Gen 7.
There you go. The Rocks, boom. Now Daytona, boom. It's just like it just keeps adds on. So when you talk to new people, hey, what have we done as a community? Dude, the list goes on and on and on and on. Hex conference, live conference, like we care for the community, stuff that we do. We meet each other. We're not just like bots out there, you know what I mean? We know people in the community. Like there's not a lot of community that can do that.
How far? Yeah. How far has Hex come? I was just getting flashbacks to when I had about $700 cash in the bank, and I was, 2:00 in the morning, should have been asleep, and I'm poring over this contract code, trying to figure out how it works, and I don't know, man. Should I put the $700 in? It's like, and it's just 2 years. It seems like it should be a lifetime, and yet it seems like nothing, both at the same time.
Exactly.
It's,
Let me blow your mind.
So much has happened. Yeah. So much has happened.
Think about this, right?
You highlight this comment from Jiraj. Oh shit! Apparently, Floyd made the car broke down during practice.
No, the one that can copy out color, the gradient colors.
No, it broke down. You know what's funny?
No, I actually want them to make it
because Floyd came in at the last minute. His driver had to race against our driver for time. So imagine the drama, and then the shit breaks down. Oh man!
And remember, they copied the hex colors, the gradient, and everything too. Keep that in mind.
Oh, they did.
Yes. If you look at the card, they copied the gradient and all. So
it's a common gradient.
Yeah.
Because it's based on. There's actually, I just saw RH's entire stream of how he decided the hex gradient and like the branding principles that he uses. It was on a replay station that's on YouTube. It's called Unstoppable Hex or Nonstop Hex or something like that.
Or maybe it just rhymes.
Well, guess what, Marco? Maybe it's karma. I don't know. This thing broke down. So, I mean, would that be nice to just beat it with the time? But hey, it is what it is. Maybe they'll fix it in time, but it's just
I hope they make it. That'd be cool. Good competition, good drama, stuff like that. But Future, there's one thing I wanted to say real quick, because you talked about the past 2 years, right? Yeah. Like, guys, 2 years ago, would we ever thought our founder would have bought a diamond, $4-something million? We ever thought we attract a whale that put $200 million locked 15 years? We ever thought we would have NASCAR, multiple Hex conferences, 2 beautiful individuals coming up with a team traveling around the United States doing these things? Like, it's incredible what this community has done within 2 years. Imagine the next 3 years. The first 5 years of Hex is going to be beyond history. I think it's going to change everything around. And I think each one of us could say we're proud to be part of history, right? We all contribute some type of way, whether we just we like a button, we share, we mention things, we all do something. And I love it, man. I'm here for the ride, man.
Perpetual not worthy from where I'm sitting.
No, man, it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
That's only 2 years. Like, come on, we're gatekeeping with all that crap, man.
I have a lot of moments of gratitude lately, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Maddie.
Very well said. Very well said. Yeah, no, great news.
You start to the show, guys. I like this.
It just goes to show 100%. Again. I bring it back. I always bring it back to the math, right? Quick math. It just goes to show again. Big respect to the Hex contract. He can't speak for himself, but Karim is always here to give him a shout out because he makes me happy every day and he keeps everybody in check. And it's just math at its perfection. You know what I mean? Everybody is incentivized not to misbehave, and that's why we have such a unique community. I mean, think about it. Like, when was the last time you had a community, even the whales worked together like this? Like, you just don't fucking see it. You know what I mean? With no negative externality, clean. I mean, because somebody could say, Bitcoin, proof of work, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the waste part makes it bad and then makes the other people want to just, attack you or box you out. This thing, because of the share rate, you can't even play that shenanigans because then you're going to get wrecked. But worse, you lose your T-shares and you will never get them back. That's what
if you're new and you want to know what a T-share is, go to hexcontract.com. and it's a playlist that has explanations, 3 explanations that are each 3 minutes long that will help you master what is Hex, what are T-shares, and then once you go to hexcontract.com, then you can go to quantgang.com and hear all of Karim's strategies.
I'm actually starting to get interested in B shares because it turns out I've got a lot more of those than I have of T shares. So
this is gonna be one of the hot
that's
topics
inflation, hidden inflation.
Isn't B shares right now? And correct me if I'm wrong. My math, isn't it like around $3 to $6 for one B share at the moment? Right.
Yes, you just take the T share and then you minus divide by 1,000. You move 3 digits.
So if Hex hits, let's say $10, $100, that means one B share will be anywhere from $30 to $100 to $300 down the road, right?
No, B share is mimicking T shares, so you gotta check the T share price. If T share is $4K, B share is $4. If T share is $10K, when that happens, B share is $10. And this is where at that point we're gonna have to switch narrative a little bit because again, most people don't have 10K, but they don't understand $10. So right now, ballparking, you know what I mean? Because we're floating around that $20, 20 cents price, more or less. So with the share where we are now, we're roughly about that 4,000 and change. But then again, share rates start to move fast. So, but yeah.
That means B shares you get pretty pricey down the road quick. And we're going to talk about M shares. I'm going to start talking about Marco shares.
They're Maddie shares.
And Maddie, Eminem, bro. There we go.
Wait your turn. 2026. Just kidding.
So who's going to we talked about the NASCAR 500. Who's going?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm like almost right there, man. Right there. I'm trying to get this babysitter set up, and then I could be good.
Yeah, I'm going with my friend. So again, I'm in Puerto Rico on Friday, and then I'm flying back in probably just Daytona. I have some OGs that might be there. We might be just together, but just to be able to be supportive for the race, that'd be great. And then after that, you know what I mean, back to business and getting ready for the Hex conference. I might do a pit stop in Mardi Gras because I've never been. My friend is inviting me.
You're in trouble, bro.
So we'll see. Karim likes to
Cabana's going to be there. Joe Hexotic, Kryptosparbach.
If you literally
Marco, myself.
If you are in Florida
and
you're nearby, you should go.
Yes, everybody should go. I'm bringing the DeLorean. I'm trailering it there. Tomorrow I'm going to pick it up, and then I'll drive it down to Florida, I guess on like Thursday or Friday. That way I can hang out for whatever the festivities are on Friday night and Saturday night. And then Sunday is the big day. That's the last day of the NASCAR 500, right? And so that's when the big race is. I'm going to have the DeLorean there in the parking lot so that hundreds of NASCAR fans can come up and get a magnet that is shaped like a hexagon, and it is exactly 3.69 inches in diameter. It has a QR code that takes people to all the links, and it has a badass picture of the DeLorean on it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to give more of those away. I think I've got like 800 left. And
nice.
Like I don't even know if I'm going to go inside to the race. I mean, if there are people hanging out in the parking lot and people want to take pictures with the DeLorean, that's pretty much how it's been everywhere I've taken the DeLorean. I have all the movie props for it. So I have the time circuit, the hoverboard, the flex capacitor. Of course, those were custom made with hexagons on them. And so there's a lot of things that people can hold if they want to take a picture. And most of the people who take pictures with the DeLorean are not in Hex yet. They're just people who freak out when they see it and remember positive things from their childhood or from the movies.
Hey, you should ask Richard if you can borrow the diamond and put it right there in the middle of the flux capacitor. That'd be awesome.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe a mock.
Definitely. And then for those interested, there's still, I believe, some tickets available for the actual race for those who want to go inside. So look out for those because they probably also will run out quick. Somebody said tickets are about $250 on air conditioning and blah blah blah. So I guess you're inside, which is pretty good. So if you can make it, great. And also, worst case scenario, if you don't get the ticket, just being around, like Maddie says, imagine a big event, kind of like if you ever been to a big football game or whatever. Sometimes there's what's called a tailgate outside the stadium is also lit. People just having fun, yelling. All there's big screens everywhere, so they're still watching the race, even though they're not in the stadium, because sometimes it's so popular you just can't fit the number of people. So the surrounding is also packed. I mean,
you must surely have to take like earplugs. I mean,
yeah.
If you manage to get anywhere near the track, surely you'd need earplugs. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm. And for those who've never been to Daytona, that place is gorgeous. Daytona is actually known also for the beach, Daytona Beach, Daytona bike
literally
ride.
Right there.
A lot of
Literally right there.
So this whole weekend is gonna be popping. So imagine kind of like a mini Super Bowl, seriously. But you know what I mean, for all the car lovers and people who like it, weather's gonna be gorgeous too. So they usually pick a good time for the weather. So hopefully that just turns out good. Yeah. So big shout out to all that.
As soon as everything is done on Sunday, then on Monday, I'm going to drive 34 hours from Daytona to Las Vegas so that I can get the DeLorean where it needs to be ahead of the conference and make sure to get a couple things set up. But I did want to announce that everything is coming together beautifully for the conference.
That's good.
It's amazing. I've been literally working all day, every day to get all of the merch ordered. We had an incredible donation of, it turned out to be about $40,000.
I must say, the merch is insane. I have seen a sneak peek of it. Maddie's a G. The fucking thing is fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Deadass. I'm saying
we'll
on Conge right now. Man, I'm telling you, this ain't no hype train. The merch, the concept, the idea is next level. You will want to have that merch. I am telling you. So
we sent it to production today. What you're talking about. So, yeah.
Creativity,
and it's all free. It's all like, thanks to Art.
Shout out to Art.
Yeah. So we got custom ribbons to put on people's badges so you can tell who's a speaker. You can tell, there's going to be some different names that you can pick to put on your badge. Yeah, I'm really excited.
This is going to be a merch that at the end of it, you will frame it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But it fits
they
all
are
together,
all works of art that that I put in the love and the time to create them, and that's something I enjoyed doing. But it was really exciting to see. Now everything has gone to production as of today, and so we're gonna have an epic amount of merch there. It's the budget, was perfect. We spent about $37,000 on merch and equipment that's needed. And I'm going to wire the venue the money here in a day or two, the $175,000 that'll cover the facilities and the staff for 4 full days of conference, March 6th through 9th. There's going to be a practice night for the speakers the night before from 5 to 7 local time. There's going to be a lot of information coming out for speakers. So just pay attention to your DMs. Make sure you did the speaker survey that we put out about a week ago. But other than that, that's the next phase. Now that we have all of the money raised, we have tickets sold. This is going to be the largest Hex event of all time when it comes to how many people have gathered in one place. So we're going to have 600 Hexicans all there at the Excalibur. The check-in is going to be at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the first day. And then from there, it's going to be 10 to 6 every day. There's going to be a 2-hour lunch in the middle. So we'll talk about more details when we get there. But right now, the speaker schedule is getting laid out. And that's one of the final steps to make the conference happen. So.
Super close.
I'm not mad at all that I can't be there.
We are 19 days away, I think.
Yes.
Wow. I should get swimming.
18 days away.
It's only about 2,000 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a run for it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, so switching gears a little bit here. Again, a big shout out to the Hex contract, of course. all the wells, you know, my mentor Godwell's doing God works out there, showing the way. And yeah, and for everybody else that's still, you know, winning and doing Cuatro Cinco, because, you know, you're part of those people as well. And to everybody that keep, you know, winning our weekly promotion, you know, on Staker app. So shout out to you as well, because again, you're building wealth and you are paying your future self, which is very, very important. I think on other news, and it's gonna be good what you transition, because it could be a potential hot topic. I want us to have that before I leave, because, you know, I'm gonna be here only for another hour. Is we heard about some community members, obviously, you know, doing their fork, you know, and I want to talk about a couple of the coins that might be coming around the corners. What are people's opinion about it? If they care to know what my opinion is, but I think it will be important because that has also been in the news, right? You know, shout out to Gerardo. Gerardo is forking OpenSea, you know,
Congrats,
coming
buddy.
up. Yeah,
right.
so
That's
we
cool.
talk about all the news, right? All we have heard. I mean, we always say this all the time. If
I
somebody's
lost
gonna
my
do
shit
it,
when I read
might
that.
as well,
That's
might
so
as well be
cool.
a Mexican. But also,
Yeah.
obviously, being very careful. Make sure people understand what they're doing. And then
So the backstory there is that Gerardo has teamed up with a group that was already doing the Minstra .io type of fork, which isn't exactly OpenSea, but so the headline was Gerardo's forking OpenSea, and then he explained in one of his interviews. You know, I watch a lot of live streams. It seems like everybody's been going on everybody else's channel. K4K was with Crypto Heartbeat, and Coffee was with K4K, and Gerardo was with Crypto Heartbeat or some K4K or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, cross promotion is obviously really, really good. You know what I mean? So that's why it's good.
The number one thing. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and also in a funny note too, we have seen the gas price kind of drop heavily in the last 2 days. I saw something that I haven't seen in years. I saw 22 grades. I was like, wait, is this real? And then it seems like some of the volume of some of those, you know, again, NFTs are not what they used to be doing. So again, I want people to be careful. It's good to go and have fun, but, you know, make sure you understand. It's kind of like playing with the meme coin until you realize that. Remember what we told you was a meme, and then you didn't listen. So I always preach safety first, right? You know, get your hex, get your pulse hex, and then if you're gonna go out in the wild, as long as you know what you're doing, you know what I mean, you'll be good to go. I always say, if it's gonna happen on Pulse Chain, regardless, right? Because like we know the scams are coming. If it's at least somebody that's in the community, at least there's some level of I wouldn't even go and say trust, but just some understanding. But then again, keep the main thing. So that's my biggest message, to remind everybody: do whatever you want, but be careful and keep the main thing. And a lot of those stuff, ultimately, time will tell, because Pulse Chain hasn't launched yet. Some of those stuff needs to launch, run, see what happens, right? You don't expect the baby to run off the bat. They need to, you know, crawl, walk, and then whatever. So I reserve the final opinion for that. But I always want to make sure users are not victimized and communities taken care of. Warnings.
How do you make sure of that?
Well, my biggest thing is about disclaimer, right? Because I go, Daddy, you know me. And if they don't do the disclaimer, I'm going to go deep dive the thing myself, and I will display the disclaimer. And if you're hiding some shit, best believe I'm going to find it, and then I will expose you. That's as simple as that. If you're cool and you play by the rule and you put a disclaimer, if people go and get wrecked, that's on them. I'm also a big proponent of personal accountability. You can't go get wrecked and then turn around and say, hey, I didn't know, and this and that. I'm here to give you the warning, the disclaimer. After that, you're on your own. Same thing with the Hedron thing, which is, you know, coming soon or whatever, 26. I'm a watch, and if I see shenanigans, best believe I'm going to say my piece, because I believe that's the best way.
Yeah, I hope like I said, I hope they have a smooth launch. I don't sponsor anybody. Everybody knows that stuff. But you know, I hope these, you know, all these guys do very well. I really hope it does well for the community and stuff like that. Because to have Hexicans try to build something, look, guys, it's not easy. You know, these guys take their time to build these things, and you know, absolutely. God bless you guys. Hopefully, you guys rock it. You guys do good, and it does help out the industry, and it helps out the ecosystem of what Richard Hart's building and stuff like that. So good luck to you guys. So yeah. that's cool. I love seeing people build stuff as long as it's legit and nobody gets hurt and stuff like that.
Well,
I think we all have a right to build something.
Something like that was going to be built at some point. So I'm just so glad it's OGs and it's happening,
Absolutely.
now,
Exactly.
and not just
That's what the
shit
key,
hits the fan.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what the key is in the disclaimer, because the reason why the Go Grow machine, like Richard talks about all the time, the reason why that thing is so deadly is because there's things that are happening on the surface that's not the things that are happening deep. If you don't fully understand the game theory and what you're being incentivized to do, then that's how you get wrecked. So that's why I just want to make people. I'll do my best, obviously, to make sure everybody got proper disclosure. And then when they make their educated decision and then they get wrecked, they can't come back and say, "Hey, I didn't know." Once you know, right? So because those things, if they get released in a while, let's pray to God, no rug pull or anything like that. But besides that, there's other ways you can get wrecked. Liquidation is not a rug pull. It's just you got liquidated. That's just what it is. You just didn't know that it was part of the game. You thought you were playing a game and something else happened. So, but yeah, looking out for 99, like Marco says, you know what I mean? Stuff needs to be at some point potentially built on the ecosystem, especially not so much on top of Hex, because I don't care about that. Hex is perfect what it is more on top of like on Pulse Chain, stuff like that. Because guess what? The value of Pulse Chain needs to come from somewhere too, right?
Yeah.
Other stuff needs to be built on top of, or it's, you know what I mean? Like the use case could be limited, even though I believe 90% of its use case for me is just Hex running smoothly on it. So I can continue to do my onboarding. Great stat. I went again last week, like I said, met a really cool Hex.
Let me jump in on the topic, because I had to excuse myself for a second. So the NFT topic. So yeah, I can see how people would say, oh, somebody's going to build it, so why not a Hexican? I think that's a slippery slope. I like Gerardo, but I abhor all of what's been going on in the NFT world. This is, some of the worst of what crypto is about. And it seems like people, when they go to environments, when they have contact with people, places, and things that are unhealthy for them, or that encourage gambling or speculating, or trying to take shortcuts in life, trying to take shortcuts with investing. Look, nobody likes waiting, right? And that's Hex's proof of wait. So of course it's going to get boring. And I would shout out to everybody who's thinking about investing in non-RH projects to, like, keep in mind that, we can learn very quickly what the difference is if we've forgotten. We can learn very quickly if we have forgotten why we were attracted to RH projects and why RH projects are different than everything else in crypto. The person who is making the money, the middleman in blockchain, they're numerous, even though they have great stories. The grifters, they make their living off of marketing, off of lying, off of partnerships. And, I think that, the world of Hex it's a community. And I heard this too from Richard. It was probably from a stream a year or two ago that I rewatched. He was saying communities degrade over time. And he wasn't even talking about the Hex community, because the Hex community didn't even exist yet. It was right around the launch of Hex. But, he was kind of making this prediction and observing what happened, with Reddit, which used to, or with Hacker News, with these different communities that he was actually talking about in that episode. He was explaining how they degrade. And I think that to say that communities degrade, I think that that's spot on. And at the same time, I think we need to ask ourselves, what are the conditions in which communities degrade, and to what extent, and what do we really mean by that, right? To operationalize it, or to really understand how it's going to play out in our community, the one that we, care the most about. And I think as long as people continue to do what they've been doing, and the God oil is a great example of that. But, people have gotten rich in Hex by waiting, by delaying gratification.
Agree.
And by believing in something because you can look at the code, because you can see the veracity of the community. And so, that's my 2 cents is for me, anything that's not an RH project, like I'm probably not going to put more than a couple grand into, like, just out of principle.
That's a lot of money still, Matty.
And that's fair. And that's fair, right? Like, that's absolutely fair. Like, I think my two pieces in this is, one, right? Regardless of how we feel, anybody feels, people are going to go and build because we're human. We are builders. We're going to build, right? And one thing about that is I do prefer it be a Hexican than not a Hexican, because let's say one of these projects, and like I said, I wish each one of them best. I hope they rock it, you know, because then this is what we're here for. Change our own selves, change our family lives, change things, people around us. And you could do that by building, right? And you know, I hope they do it right, because if they don't, at least since they're a Hexican, we go turn around like, hey, listen, buddy, this is not working out. Maybe change this or this, and let's figure this out as a community, right? And maybe it could work. Maybe their ego won't be like, oh no, it's my project, I'll do it. They'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's tweak this, let's try it again, right? And we move on from there. If it wasn't if they were a Hexican and there's somebody else, there's nothing we could say, right? They won't listen to us. They won't do anything. So at least that's a little bit of kudos points that they are Hexicans, whoever decides to make anything out there. And we know them. Not only that, right? And Maddie, to your point about communities like, dissolving, stuff like that. There's a key feature all these other communities didn't have. They're not locked 15 years and forced to be with each other for 15 years.
Correct.
So that's something that I think will hold us tighter, right? But then again, we can't just rely on that. It's more of the mindset and how we treat each other along these ways and stuff like that. So, I agree.
And actually, to add on top of that, going back to what I was saying, this is the reason why, number one, Hexican quick math, repetition, once again, is the mother of all skills. Repetition is how you fight degradation, because when you repeat, it stays fresh in your mind. You're removing the rust, the dust, so it doesn't erode. You know what I mean? It's like protecting the metal, right? Polishing it so that way it doesn't becomes like erosion comes in or whatever else comes in, or weeds start to grow. So repetition is the key. That's why we have a weekly show. That's why you see us sometimes say the same thing over and over. It serves a deeper purpose. So that way if you're going to be brainwashed, you do the brainwashing yourself, or something that's going to always be in your favor. That's number one. That's the very, very key. Number two, based on what Marco has said, and I just want to maybe paraphrase Maddie here, because I want to make sure people don't misunderstand. He's not calling anybody or say, hey, there are people who are bad or scam or whatever. He's just saying, in the balance of probabilities, things that we have seen, this is what typically could happen. So, which is why I'm a big proponent of disclaimer. And that's the power of community. Community helps keeps everybody in check. So we're gonna, like Marco said, we're gonna wish you the best and blah blah blah. It's gonna be whatever, but make no mistake, we're watching. We're always fucking watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna be rooting for these guys.
The moment you start going sideways, oh, you said this, you're going there. Like how we're talking about, hey, we want audits. People think we're joking. Shit, we're gonna be. Wait, things gonna come out. If it doesn't look good, I've already said this publicly many times. Say whatever. If I got coins or whatever, if it's not good, I'm gonna dump this thing so hard you won't even understand what happened. But it's just we're watching.
Yeah.
Give everybody the benefit of doubts. Because we're not maximalists here. People have their own money, know what they're gonna do whatever. So like a kid, you tell him not to do something so many times, he's still gonna do it. Yeah. But you want to build a pervert like the garden rail, and then always watching, putting the disclaimer, and then we hope for the best. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, like Marco said, we're trying to help you pivot. And if you don't want to pivot, you go hostile, then hey, we'll meet you where you are.
So the people.
Well, hang on, my turn. Is that okay? Sorry, boss. Firstly, I was wrong before. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and not say bullshit on here. That is, in fact, it's not 2,000 miles. It's more like 6,900 miles between here and Nevada. I'm just going to pretty much say the opposite of what Maddie's saying. I mean, Hex exists in a trustless, adversarial environment, and it holds up. I don't give a damn what anybody does, Hexican or not Hexican, with any other project, because I believe that the game theory in Hex is rock solid. And all these other projects, they can work, not work, go whatever. I'm genuine about this. I understand the concern, and I feel the concern as well. Diluting the market and making it easier to trade, without having to wait for your lockups to end and all that stuff. But there's so many places you can already do all that stuff already. and it isn't affecting how well the hex main contract works.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I mean, I can't make any predictions, but man, to do what it's done in 2 years, with all the hate and all the gatekeeping and everything else, it's hard to believe that even the slipperiest of slopes will make a huge difference. Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of the definition of a slippery slope, though, isn't it? Oh, I'll just put 1 foot on. But yeah, I mean, I share the concerns, but I really, I mean, it'll play its course.
The people who watch this show are dolphins, whales. Richard watches sometimes.
So they're already staked.
Crabs.
They're safe.
People who have more of a long-term mindset that really came from maybe not a whole lot of buy-in, for a lot of people who were early, right? And people who have come in along the way. I think that there's a unique audience that watches this. So, we're not getting 20,000 views on all the videos, but, we're getting 5,000 consistent people, many of whom have become multimillionaires from Hex. And so the psychology of this group of people is probably extra important to differentiate and to understand compared to people who are trying to catch up, because catching up is a high risk, high reward behavior. Even if you try to catch up in Bitcoin by, investing in altcoins all along the way, you usually got wrecked.
That's just folly.
Trading.
That's just folly.
Now,
I mean, what?
To speak to the point, did you want to respond to who watches the show or?
I'm one of those people, but yeah, I'm just agreeing with you on this. I mean, just because the game theory and Hex has not been beaten and probably won't be beaten anytime soon. So trying to go somewhere else to catch up, that makes no sense to me whatsoever at all. But carry on.
But that's probably that is what some people are doing, because Hex is a tool that's so effective for people who are traders to change their behavior and get their lives back. Because it's such a powerful tool, that changes human behavior. That doesn't mean that human behavior changes, all at once, or that people don't have relapses to their old ways of thinking, to their trader mentalities. We've all heard OGs say, "Oh yeah, I did a little bit of gambling, or I did a little bit of the trading that I used to do," that sort of thing.
Yeah. Maddie, I think I get it. Right? Let me kind of recap in a way and paraphrase what Future Us is trying to say, which I think is very powerful, because I think you guys are both right, but there's a miscommunication here. What Future Us is saying is, to my understanding, which I agree, at the core level, I want to make this clear, quick math, if it wasn't clear for anybody, at the core level, the game theory and what Hex is building, what it does, it's so powerful that it is unmatched, period, full stop, end of story. From a fundamental level to delayed gratification to building wealth and the kind of yield that you're getting, it is so unmatched that everything else literally is like a sub story to me. Now, that being said, I get your point in terms of we have done
it's just a code. Yeah, people have to run it.
We have done so much in terms of teaching people how to do the right thing and winning, but they don't understand that momentum that they have built over that repetition can easily also be lost over time. It's like working out, getting the six-pack, looking good, and then you stop working out, you think that everything's going to be good, and then now you start to degrade. And if you're not careful, you're going to basically go back. But those people need to understand that them going back is just them being off the train. Hex is going to keep doing what Hex is going to keep doing. And those who stay disciplined will continue to win and are going to be here 5, 10. People think I'm joking when I say 15 years from now, we're going to be in the golden yacht. I'm so confident about that, but I also know the wisdom is some of the people even watching the show today may not be there. I'm not talking about people, like, unfortunately, knock on wood, like passing out, dying or whatever, because it takes the courage it takes to actually do the thing, right? I always tell you guys all the time, Mexicans, like, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. As it is applied, it is then valuable. If you stop applying it because it's a repetition, then you will be left behind. Now, obviously, we want to bring as many people as we can on the boat, but people are going to eventually just do what they're going to do. So our best bet is just to keep bringing the knowledge, the repetition, and trying to help as many people as we can. but we also do understand that some people might not want to listen, and then they become the example of what not to do. But your future us point, that has nothing to do with the hex contract. The hex contract will keep moving. The T-share rate will keep moving. If you do the right thing, you're going to keep getting rewarded. If you don't, you're going to be left behind. This is why people like myself, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm trying to be wise. I'm forcing myself to do the right behavior so that I'm not even tempted to do any change. That's why I speak so aggressively, because I know the flaw of a human being more than most people. I am very self-aware, and this is where wisdom comes from. I'm not going to sit here and play, hey, I'm better than everybody. I'm this or that. I know how to. No, you never know. 2 years from now, some really shiny object can come in front of me and tell me, hey, do this, do that. And then I might be tempted to do it. Well, I got no coin to be scammed of, for the majority, because it's state. It's doing its thing, and I'm going to wait my time. So this is why I say our goal ultimately is to bring that disclaimer and try our best to help people understand that difference. And then if they're going to go play a little casino on the other stuff, that's fine, as long as your main thing is still your main thing. And we're literally saying that out of care, because as a community member who really understand what the code has done, and what it is.
But to an addict, you don't say a little bit is just fine. I know, that's because true. I was a substance abuse counselor for 7 years. And for some people, total abstinence is the best choice. Each person needs to decide, learn for themselves, and but practicing total abstinence from shitcoins or risky investments or things that are outside of the ecosystem, even if they're marketed as inside the ecosystem, even if they're marketed as, saying that Richard thinks it's a good idea. You have to hear it from him if you want that type of approval. And you have to rewind, apparently in the case of Hedron, you have to rewind 1 minute to the video that they keep linking people on Twitter, and you will see that they are mischaracterizing Richard's discussion. So
so
that's not good.
So this Hedron thing, it's not Hex, right?
No, it's
something
not.
different. Okay, I'm good. I don't care.
So, well, my thing is this, right? This is my point when it comes to this, and this is more of a message for all those hexagons that want to build something out there, right? End of the day, guys, do you, right? I don't get to tell you what to do. Nobody in this panel gets to tell you. Nobody in the chat, nobody in the ecosystem gets to tell you what to do, right? My only request, my only thing I would like to say is this: don't forget where you came from, right? You are a hexagon. We all didn't have money like this, and now most of us became wealthy. So when you have this type of money, you want to reach out to the world, try different things. You want to explore and start building things. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I 100% support that you guys do that stuff, right?
Me too.
Just don't forget where you came from. We're so wealthy, and we're going to be so wealthy down the road with all the stuff coming out, that just don't take advantage of your fellow hexagons out there, right? Not even just a common people itself. That's just, listen, that should just be basic knowledge and everything. Like you should be a good person in here, right? But don't take advantage of your hexagons. Know where you came from, stuff like that. And hexagons, if the code is good, if they are audited, if things are great and things work the way they do, give them support if you want to, right? You don't have to. That's up to you, right? By the end of the day, I don't want to become that person that gatekeeps everyone from doing their own thing, because I remember the first 2 years of Hex, to have to go through the bullshit we went through of gatekeeping, people not even giving us a chance, and we was just fresh. It was beyond frustrating, especially the OGs that was there before me that experienced it even 10 times worse than I felt. I think people should be given that chance, right? Especially a lot of these guys are building these new things, right? And like I said, I'm not sponsoring nobody, guys. Let's keep this real, right? I'm just talking about just what they're doing, right? A lot of these guys contributed big time for the community. They've done wonderful things for the community, right? So they have every right to want to do something for themselves and call something their own, right? Like everybody else said on this panel, right? Don't forget the main thing. Hex is king. Hex is basically all you really need, right? Will things in the future be better or new things come out? Possibility, right? But at the end of the day, just guys, if you're going to build something, good luck. Do what you got to do. Just don't forget where you came from. You're a hexagon in heart and blood. You're going to be here 15 years. Don't do anybody wrong, because 15 years is a long time, and it could be a short time too, depending how much you piss people off, right? So do right by the community. Do right by yourself, your family. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, let's do this. Like, do what you got to do, right? But just remember where you came from. Remember the rules. Remember how we do things. Remember how we felt when people did it to us, right? Like, just do right. By all means, build what you got to build. Go ahead.
And the reason that that this is a problem is the game theory of money itself. So the game theory of money says that it's very profitable to make money out of nothing, to found your own coin or currency, and that creates
that's an unprovable theory. I mean,
we have
said
evidence.
Before.
It's called all of crypto. All of crypto is evidence. So it's not.
Yeah, but that's people applying broken theory to a broken system with broken assets. That's not the theory of.
So printing money is not profitable, or it is profitable?
It's got nothing to do with game theory. Those people, well, if it has got something to do with game theory, then they don't know how to play the game.
So I define game theory as being able to reliably predict what the macroeconomic behavior of a population is going to be based on what the rules are. So
you can't reliably predict anything that has the word theory in it. Theory is
Bitcoin,
a theory.
The game theory that has played out is that you can stop double spends by burning electricity and rewarding inflation to the people who are burning electricity. And that game theory, although it was not thought to work, it has played out pretty flawlessly overall. And so I would say that there's
an incentive,
hundreds of billions of dollars behind
balance.
That.
Yeah, sure.
That's been proven now. That
guys, I look at it
that's
this
an
way.
example of game theory.
But what's you're trying to get to a point.
Sure, I got this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let him finish. He's just hang on. Wait. Sorry. No, Manny quite often thinks out loud, and he's got something really important he wants to say here, and he's just not quite at it. I think because we have a lot of conversations offline. So just carry on. You'll get. I want to hear it. I want to hear where you're getting to.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you can if you're using this definition of game theory, that you can predict what people's behavior is going to be on a macro level based on a set of rules or observations or assumptions. The fact that crypto exists and is like a mind virus, it has powerful marketing behind it. There's massive amounts of human ingenuity that's going into thinking of ways to scam people, and that's why scams are becoming indistinguishable from reality, where the stock market, over 50% of the companies are not profitable. They're zombie corporations, but the stock market keeps going up and up, right? And so I think there are a lot of
this
examples.
Is the trustless adversarial environment that I referred to before. This is the environment in which Hex and crypto exists, and yet it still
economists
works.
They talk about how irrational human behavior is when it comes to economics, but it's pretty much just based on what their idea of being rational is. For example, when people are not saving in the long term in a whole society, when people are living off of debt, that's a problem. But at the same time, it's not because the people are choosing the worst strategy. It's because the inflation is eroding away their savings. So it's actually more adaptive to spend money and buy things at today's prices.
People are actually strategizing correctly. If you've got a currency where the value's dropping all the time, then saving makes no sense. The incentives are misaligned, right? So
but the dollar is
bad.
The most effective money, right? It's got the most saturation, and so I would say that.
So say the people with the guns and the tanks, yeah.
So it's important for us, I think, as a community, right? As a group of people that makes points about psychology and community and economics and everything. I think it's important for us, to at least have said this idea that we should be putting our energy. Those of us who are financially free from Hex, should be putting our energy into things that are for the public good. In my opinion, that's what I'm doing. That's what I love to see other people doing. Is you're onboarding for Hex, not onboarding for an altcoin that you're profiting from. You're not worried about, a huge referral bonus that you're going to get for something. You're not getting paid by advertisers to wreck users on leveraged exchanges. You're not promoting like, you know, NFTs that are super expensive, that money could have been used to support the Hex ecosystem. Like, if we don't have an ethos in our community of like, this is what it is, then it's going to be really hard to keep all the dollars going into Hex and RH projects instead of, you know, spewing out into areas where now I will say people who aren't rich from Hex, like who haven't had 1000x gains, like they do need a way to be able to integrate with the Hex system, you know, with the ecosystem, and they do need a way to be able to be profitable at whatever they're doing. So I'm not like casting any judgment or any negativity on like any profitability in the crypto space. But I think that the game theory is telling us that a lot of the behavior that we're going to see in the system, just like all of the rest of crypto, right? Just like Binance Smart Chain, just like every altcoin that tried to compete with Bitcoin, they're having a worse use case because they're hemorrhaging money, because they're having to market, because they're having to buy people's attention in an attention economy that decides whether people are going to invest in something or not. Hex is different because it has Richard Hart, who's a billionaire outside of Hex, and his billions don't have to answer to anybody. So he has billions of dollars of Bitcoin and Ethereum and USDC. And so he is incentivized. His game theory is going to be to not extract value, to add value to the system that he's created, unlike every other crypto that the founder has to make that call.
This is where we've always tried to disagree.
Hold on. I want to talk now because I got 10 minutes because I got to go.
Go, shoot.
Yeah. So again, I appreciate the conversation. It makes it. I want to bring you back on topic because I think we're getting a little bit off topic. The real thing is this. It all comes
I'm sorry.
down to,
I really wanted to say that, and we do a show once a week, so I wouldn't say it's off topic to like be discussing things that are really.
We're not against you, Matty. We're not against you here. We're just conversing.
Where the conversation started, because I think we have similar value here. Nobody's questioning the values.
We're talking about other projects.
Yeah, exactly. From other projects. I'm going to bring you back to the specific.
Did you not see how what I said related to that? Did you not?
I saw it. Okay, Maddie, if I can't speak,
well, if we let him speak, we might get the answer to that.
Yeah. So
sure.
My thing is this. I'm just trying to bring it back to the because I brought that topic, right? And I want to talk specifically about those things. We can't just compare everybody to all the other shitcoins out there. Is there a possibility that those people end up being shitcoins? Yes, but we do not have that guarantee right now. We cannot project and talk about stuff like guilty of a crime that you haven't.
I can compare them.
Yet. This is what
we can't compare because it hasn't come out yet, right? Like the project could be the best thing. You never know, right?
My thing is this, because I agree with all the concern, but we can't be making conclusion when we have to. That's what I say. It comes down to having the disclaimer and watching, because as much as I would like to claim this is great and this one is bad, I can't say that right now until I see the thing come out, and I will be watching it like a hawk. It is not to disagree with all the concern that's being brought out, but we also got to be very, very careful. Some people are genuinely trying to create something that is good. Now, is it going to be good? We don't know. We want to see, but we can't be out there casting stones about stuff that hasn't happened yet. Number two, business related. There's a difference between a fucking middleman and then an add-on, okay? For example, we need fiat on-ramp. I'm gonna just give an example. If somebody comes with a gangster good way to create fiat on-ramp and have some type of fucking incentive token, you name it, I don't care. But that just incentivized for the fiat on-ramp, the fiat on-ramp is great. That doesn't mean this coin is a shit coin, for example, because it's not in direct competition. It's just an add-on. We need to look for project. I personally be looking for project and support projects that are add-on, make the ecosystem better, provide a really new niche that when you add to the puzzle like a Lego, it makes sense. I want to be involved into that. But if it's just, hey, vampire attack, hey, copycat, clone, this, that, then heck no. I'm just going to be like, no, my original version is better. So I just want people to distinguish the two here, okay? They're not all going to be good. Guys, there's going to be thousands of fucking projects. I only brought 3 because I know some people will be asking about it. So I wanted to bring that topic. And make no mistake, if some turns out bad, I'll be the first one to tell you that it is bad. But we first got to wait.
Thanks for the shout out, bro.
Like Marco was saying, we've been gatekept if we're not careful, this is where wisdom comes in.
Okay.
As much as we try not to, we might start acting like the people we don't want to be like. This is why I reserve my judgment to the very, very end, where I am warning these people right now, live, that I am watching. I will be maybe minting some of those coins, and I'm going to be fucking watching. And if it's bad, then guess what? I'm going to dump that thing fast. You won't even understand. And I'm going to tell everybody to dump it. But if it turns out to be good, then I will always remind people the main thing is the main thing. But I'll say, hey, if you dabble over there, be careful, blah, blah, blah. And then case by case, which I am doing already with many people on DMs and on support. Maddie is right when he said some people don't have basically, what's the word for it? Self-control. There's some people that, bro, I'll be watching you. I'll be like, yo, you need to stay away from this because you have no self-control. You haven't even showed discipline. Stay away from that. And some other people who make very, very well, who have their ladder set up, that whatever, that want to go dabble. I wouldn't put a couple $1,000, like Maddie said, probably less, but whatever, wants to go play with it. But everything else is set. They got their hex bag, their pulse bag, their whatever. And this other thing here, trying to create something that's going to make the ecosystem better, then why not? That's all. That's what I want to say. That's what the conversation should be. Nobody is disagreeing that we shouldn't be careful of this or that. I'm just saying, let's wait for the thing to come out first before coming out with a pitchfork and start stabbing that. Like, no, we let them know what our concerns are. I've been very clear, specifically about the hedge fund. I need to see my audit. Like, you know what I mean? That's why we're not going to list it on the Staker app. It's nothing personal. We also have our reputation. Keep in mind. So, but we also tell our users, I'm going to finish with this. We also tell our user, hey, this is non-custodial. This is how you do it. This is how you put the fucking thing on the MetaMask. If you want to go gamble by yourself, that's fine. But as a company, we always play security, safety first. Even for post-chain launch, we're going to be heavily testing this thing. We can't wait for people talking about, oh, when launch. We're worried about when testnet V3. Again, it's just different mindset. There is no rush. This is why Hex is so good. We don't need to rush it. Whether it comes in a month, 6 months, it doesn't matter.
I just want people to be careful of just, like not giving anybody a chance, right? Like, end of the day, like I said, once again, I don't sponsor anybody. End of the day, I wish everybody well, right? Like, we got to let these people, especially the Hexicans, allow them to build, let them come up with stuff and stuff like that. And like Karim says and everybody else says, if they do well and it works out well, listen, I'll be in it, everybody will be in it, God will probably be in it, all that stuff. If it does well, right? If it doesn't, I'll be the first one to tweet too, hey, there's something wrong in this code, there's something wrong in this. Like, guys, before you push it out more, fix this shit, right? But I don't think we should gatekeep anybody. But once again, I did not like the feeling of being gatekept. I know these guys, they wake up, they finally make it, they want to build something, and then their own family, Hexicans, are bombarding them from building anything. I don't think that's right. I think let them do things. If they trip, if they fall on their face because they do wrong, then that's on them. If they succeed, congratulations, that's awesome, change the world, right? But we got to give each other a chance, because you never know. In the future, I might want to come out with a project. You might want to come out with a project, Maddie, future, Karim, or anybody in this
I have
chat.
Come out with a project.
I'm just saying,
charge any fee, and it was built directly on the Hex.
But that was your choice, though, right? You did it that way, right? Everybody has a choice to do a project the way they want. And then we got to give people a chance.
You see, right, Marco, to Maddie's point, you see
there's
the
a big difference between taking a fee and not taking a fee.
Yeah, this is where people got lost in the semantics. People got lost in the semantics.
No, a fee is rent-seeking middleman behavior.
There's a difference between
not what crypto was made for. Richard didn't give away the knowledge for free so that we could charge people for it.
Who's charging? Who are you talking about? You see, that's the thing. Like, what are you?
You are talking about things built on top of Hex.
No, but for example, like, we were just
that are outside of the Hex ecosystem that people are investing in. So I'm not talking about anything specific. I'm talking about in general. What do I know about things that are outside of the RH ecosystem?
And Maddie, I said I don't disagree with you. This is why I'm not talking about the 99% that is garbage. That everything that you say is agreed to. I talk about the specific 3 that we even brought up on the show. Nothing else. That to me is just like one-on-one. That's just understood. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't even waste my time give those people even the light of day. I'm only talking about the stuff that I know the fucking community is talking about, because as I manage support, people keep asking and asking and asking. So I need to come forward.
So did you guys invest in things that were built on Hex like in the first 6 months or in the first year?
Yes.
So it's very simple, right? So me personally, I'll say real quick. So I went all in on Hex recently and all that stuff and everything else besides the past year or so. But when people, I make this clear, when people were making fun of Shiba in the beginning, right? Around November or so, I bought it and people was attacking me, Hexicans, and other people, and it was a little flip. I put almost $900 to $1,000 in that, right? I put another 1,000 in a separate account. I made almost $2 million off this shit, okay? Right?
Nice.
I made crazy amount of money, right? If I would have listened to everybody else, none of that money would have went to hacks or done anything like that, right? But I did very well for myself because I did it.
You did your
right?
research and you took your own risk by yourself.
Exactly.
You see, that's what we're saying here. It's not about should or shouldn't. It's understanding what the risks are, understanding what you get yourself into, and then once you go, you go. If you go, you mess it up, then you're done. Like I warn everybody, and I say it again. I give trust once. Good friend, because I believe in people. I believe in human beings. It is my God-given right to trust my fellow human being. I will not change that, because if I change that, I lose. They win. The demons wins when you stop trusting. But make no mistake, I give it once. You fucking lose that shit. It's gone. Every single time you come up with something else, I'll be reminded that you fucked up. So I'll be reminding you.
Yeah, and this is how the world plays out, and that's what we want to. Well, that's what the anarchists, and I don't classify myself as an anarchist, but in a free, that's what we want. That's what the crypto ethos in general seems to be, is to just let these things play out, even though we can see the writing on the wall and we can see the person putting one foot on a slippery slope and have all these opinions and beliefs and more or less wisdom. It should just play out. Now there is. Now I just want to say there is this thing though, where because it's a Hexican doing it, they kind of have direct access to the Hex community. Yeah. And hopefully in good faith.
Yes.
They're utilizing the Hex community to do. But we don't want to go down the bloody maximalist freaking Bitcoiny type path. We can do that. I just say let it be. Just let it be. Yes. If it's good, it'll stick around. If it's not, it'll fade and something will replace it.
I think the audience deserves to know, because Karim and Marco weren't here in the first 6 months of Hex, that everything that was built onto Hex was incredibly scammy and turned out really bad for everybody. So
not true.
We have a lot of
hold on, Karim, 1 second.
Not true. Really bad for the users.
One second. So I wasn't in Hex the first 6 months. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I wasn't following it, and I won't say the person's name. I was following that individual that built a couple of things on it that didn't do so well in Hex. So I knew there was things that was built on Hex that was crap. And I know because I was in those people's chats, just on the sidelines watching stuff like that. I never invested a dollar in these crap, right? But I did it. And then once I realized Hex was the real deal, then I jumped on it. But you can't say I don't know what went through, because I do. I do.
Perfect example, right? Perfect example, Marco. To back your point, quick maths. I wasn't there. Master story is great because I wasn't there for 6 months, but I understood the contract more than most. And I staked 15 years and I popularized it before people even knew what it was. People had to end stake and redo their stuff. Again, it's called doing the research, because I care so much. When I care, I do the fucking research.
So can you list the rug pulls in Hex, or the things that made people get
but it doesn't
matter. You've done the research.
That's a totally different topic. Maddie, it's a totally different topic.
Okay.
It's not even the same topic.
I'm very well about them. I know what
you're talking about.
I think our audience deserves the point of view. I know that we're all having different points of view, and that's why we do the show. That's why we disagree respectfully with each other.
You're talking about people who planned from the get-go to rug pull. That was their plan from the very, very beginning.
Then people who's in a hack,
and we all knew it, and we all said it to each other in the first 6 months. We were like, I don't know about this.
Not everything. So I mean,
well, the ones that didn't rug pull are still here, and so evidently they didn't plan to rug pull.
The funny thing is, Maddie, we don't disagree.
Gave users a much worse deal.
We're saying, wait for
how did they get
exploited?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not aware of. I'm not aware of any.
10% to get out.
Maybe this is the part where
I'm
optimistic.
I know.
Yeah. All I want to say really quick, right? It's we can't compare like the first 6 months of people creating stuff on Hex, stuff like that. Because let's be real, Maddie, you don't know what Hex was.
It's the only relevant data.
Hold on 1 second.
It's the only example of people.
I know, but I'm gonna get to my point.
Compare?
Why, right?
Like, we have to learn.
No, of course. But I'm gonna explain to you why. Because Maddie, in the first 6 months, you had no idea what Hex was. No OG knew what Hex was. Richard Hart himself didn't even know the capability of Hex itself. Not even Kyle, not nobody. There's not one person that could say. There's not one person that could say, I knew exactly what Hex was 100% and where it was going. Nobody knew. We knew what the code did, but we really didn't know the power of t-shirts till almost the third quarter of Hex first existence. That's when everybody started emergency handstick and pushing shit further, because we understand the power of it. Now, the beginning of the first 6 months, when people were creating other stuff in Hex, they weren't real Hexicans yet, because nobody understood Richard Hart like that, or the community wasn't really made. 2 years later,
Richard Hart was personally sanctioned. Now let me be clear about the right words here. He wasn't sanctioning, but he was encouraging. Let's build new stuff on top of Hex.
Yeah,
and then one second, and then the other thing is this: these individuals that are building, and once again, guys, I am not sponsored by Hadron, Liquid Loans, any of these guys. Not once. None of these guys communicated with me, DM me, nothing like that. So I'll make this clear. There's just me speaking. I don't get sponsored by anybody. Okay. When these people came in the community for 2 years and learned and did all that stuff for 2 years, they became a Hexican mindset, and now they're building stuff. And that's different. We can't compare these type of people to the people in the beginning that just came in, that wasn't part of the community, that didn't know anything, and just built to rug people. That's
I know one individual in particular who said, "Oh, here's another dumb community. I'm just going to scam them," and that's exactly what he did.
To your point, Future Us, one more thing, and a shout out to them watching right now. We need to put some fucking respect on the community too. Like, those people are not babies. People who watch Quan Gangs have been here for 57 weeks. They know the traits. They know what works. They know what made them rich. They knew who helped them out. And some of them, I'm not going to say any names, but they reach out directly when they have important questions before they make a move. This is why I can confidently say I'm not worried, because I got my finger on this fucking pulse and I'm watching it like a hawk, because again, there's people looking out, and I am looking out for them, and I'm looking out for the community. So we're not going to just like, oh yeah, do whatever you want. No. And number two, people have learned valuable lesson. I say, Hexican, I want to teach you how to hunt. I don't want to teach you to fucking fish. Why? Because maybe today you want fish, tomorrow you may want a steak, and the next week you want a kangaroo, whatever. I'm teaching you how to hunt so you can stand on your own. So people are not as dumb as they look, okay? They've been here 57 weeks. They know what I'm talking about, the ones that are able to obviously have the ammo to go into those things. They know what's up. They're not stupid, okay? So we just need to not show like, hey, we're maximalists, but we also kind of kindly say, hey, we got a playground here. We're gonna allow you to come in. You're a Hexican. You got that card, but don't lose your membership. That's basically what it is. Because we are always watching. Because too much is given, too much is tested. And I said this many times to my close friends. Good friendship, you don't take advantage of. Period.
Absolutely.
I think at this point, one thing's very clear, and that is that the four of us and everybody in the chat care about this shit.
Of course, because if we didn't, we would not be doing this, that's right? We'll all ignore things, kumbaya, do all that stuff, you know. So, you know,
that's what I was trying to say. It's just semantics. We're all in agreement. We just say we know what the red flags are. We're training this shit. Let it play out, and if they misbehave, not only we're gonna call them out, but we're gonna be able to show. This is the power. We're gonna be able to show mathematically and proof to the community. Hey, this is where you're being scammed. We're not even going to be like, hey, scam. No, we're going to be able to tell you exactly where you are being scammed, how you're being scammed, what the fuck's going on. And then the people either fix it, so they no longer be a scam, or they don't, and then they get just blackballed. And that's as simple as that. And not, once again, in conclusion, not confusing middleman activity and an add-on. I'm a firm believer of capitalism. If somebody is able to figure some shit out that we need, and I use the fiat on-ramp as a good example, because we're almost vertically integrated. Richard can't fucking do everything, okay? You know, like, we need to come in now. If somebody's able to add another thing that we need, and God forbid he creates some type of coin to incentivize that behavior of the thing that we need, then fuck yeah. It's like decentralization. Look at the human being. You don't centralize to the cellular level.
I've got fiat and on-ramps technically totally sussed, by the way. Everything you said, yeah, totally agree. But in the fiat on-ramps, I've got it all sussed. I'm just having a little bit of trouble getting enough. When I say fiat but I know, but it's an important thing. I'm just having a little bit of trouble hiring enough mercenary military folk to keep the bloody governments out of my way. I haven't made enough.
sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, but it sucks though, doesn't
Mary
it?
very much for saying those things because again, it does matter because some people, and I will say this, some people do not have the discipline. That's a fucking fact.
But
So
it's not an either-or thing, though, right?
And then one little thing I want to say, guys, right? And I just want to make this clear, right? We have tremendous in chat. We have tremendous respect for each other on this panel, big time. Behind the green screen, we go at it, we war, we yell, we fight, we laugh, everything like that, right? But I want you to understand something. We would never put our emotions to try to direct the community to attack a certain individual or project, stuff like that. But that's not what we're about. That's not what I'm about, right? So
no, we're talking about principles here.
We're doing principles. We're talking about, listen, this is the point of these type of shows, right? It's to push each other's buttons and stuff like that, to get out. We rather fight than you guys fight and attack each other and do all that crap, right? We rather do the punches and all that stuff. But end of the day, I say give people a chance, let them rock out. If they fall, hit their face down and stuff like that, listen, people gonna throw rocks their way, not our way, right? I hope everybody succeeds, because when they succeed, we succeed, everybody succeeds. We will live in a better, bigger community. Beautiful, you know. I hope Pulse Chain community does very well. I hope Hexican community, they will be. Listen, we're one big ecosystem, but they're gonna be little pockets of different communities. Pulse X down the road is gonna make their own community. They're gonna think they're better than the other two communities, and I welcome it, right? And then they were all together, right? Let's not, like I said, I don't want us to start building walls, to start blocking each other out, because that's when we start bickering and fighting amongst inside these walls, and then that's when chaos happens, right? So let's just not do that.
And you don't want to give extra ammo to the haters. This is why I'm doing the way I'm doing. Because, oh, look, you gave no.
Exactly.
I give everybody a chance. When I say I make this joke, I say I'm a t-shirt maximalist because I understand math. There's nothing else that pays me better. So I will always maximize. So I do this. I love Hex, but I'm also here for the mad gains because it's just perfectly designed and it's unmatched. That's why I made the selection. It wasn't because, oh, somebody did. No, I ran the numbers. I did the math. And the people that understand their portfolio used to be a bunch of different things, and Hex blew up and then literally made them look like they're maximalists. No, it's just the gains just came. And you double down on what works. You're not going to be like, hey, let me diversify away from the thing that pays me since the beginning. That makes no fucking sense. So, but we're confident enough that we're not projecting, or we're not desperate to scare to be, oh, so and so can't come in because we're afraid that we might get swayed. No, we're not afraid. We're very cool. And I love what Maddie said, because it needs to be said, and for people watching to understand that this ain't not just kumbaya, come on in. No, you're coming in, but you're always gonna be watched. Period. Full stop. End of story. You do good, great. And I would say this too: you can fail. That's one thing. But if you emulate scammy behavior, I don't care if you fail. I'm gonna call you out. You could genuinely start something trying to help and you fail, and that's fine. And nobody should yell at you. You try, you fail. You know, maybe you fix another thing and then you come back.
Yeah, if we think what you're doing sucks, we'll say it. But you know,
if you emulate scammy behavior, hear me loud and clear. I will fucking call you out every day of the week. It's going to be nonstop, to the point where you're just gonna have to quit and give up or whatever. So no. That's why we have those parameters that we have. That's why we talk about audits. That's why we talk about, it's not just for fun. It's the little checkpoints, because it's not fun when somebody gets rock pulled. It's not fun when you collect your wallet somewhere else. Oh, I was just coming here to claim. And then, yeah, guess what? Money's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ask us how we know.
No, those things are there for a fucking reason, so that you can be, you know, good. But we don't want to stifle innovation also. So you come to the test. You pass the community test, and then kumbaya, we go on. If you don't, we'll send you back to the drawing board, like Marco said. But if you straight up scam me out the gate,
Oh yeah, we're stopping that right away. Yeah, and not only that, the greatest voice of all, that great voice of reasoning. If all these projects that are planning to come out, right? And like I said, once again, wish you guys the best. You guys fuck up, and you fuck up bad, and you do some scammy shit. Richard Hart will be on your ass like no other. So just understand that, right? And the community will follow. And then I think the chance of you ever to recover, to do this ever again, will be gone out the window. Because like Karim always says, we are, how it goes, Karim? We are kind, but we are not nice, right? Like, you have to understand that, right? So end of the day, guys, do what you do, whatever it is. Don't fuck your fellow family over, right? Because we don't forget, and we got 15 years of this shit, and we'll hunt your ass down, all right? Don't do that shit, all right?
Yeah.
Just because something has an audit doesn't mean that it's safe to connect.
Of course not. Of course not.
Code can be changed after an audit.
But the opposite is also true. If somebody doesn't have an audit, doesn't mean it cannot be remarkable.
You guys know that on this panel, but I want to make sure that the people at home know. Just because something's audited does not mean that it's not a risk to connect your wallet.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's why we said there's multiple checkpoints. Maddie's absolutely right. And by the way, it's a never stopping, dude. Everybody, that's what community is. Community hold each other accountable. Everybody got street cred in a way, and then you either build up or you lose it. Even anybody on this panel right now, right? The moment you start to fuck up too much, then you will lose your street credibility too. It goes for everybody. It's not like there's nobody special. It's just the same way Richard keep emulating that same behavior because he knows if you were to deviate from that, then things will be different, right? Like the same way how Away has worked and some of things, because everybody, there's a constant watch, and that's what community is known for. Everybody keep everybody else accountable. And I love this comment here. I want to tackle that. That's a great comment. Somebody said, how do you know if they fail after you sacrifice the money? Can you find this comment? That's a great point.
That's why we call it a sacrifice.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So math, right? Because I gotta go. But there's level of risk. That's a great question. Sacrifice is a big deal. People like to copy it because Richard Hart created, but make no mistake, we're able to do that because of the level of street credibility Richard has accumulated over time. That's why for us, sacrifice is no big deal because we truly believe we had no promises.
But don't get it confused either. If Richard's saying it's a sacrifice, you better damn well believe it is a sacrifice. It's not really just twisting some words to get around some legal jargon, which I know it can look like that, but it goes deeper than that. It's genuinely a sacrifice. So if people are out there saying, oh, we're going to have a sacrifice phase, blah, 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 and they think it's just a way to change up the words and get around the law or whatever, run for your life because that shit going to get you burned, put in jail. That ain't,
So so what I was saying is you got to check the level of risk. Okay, a lot of those things are obviously very, very risky. So first of all, like I've always said, the main thing is the main thing. You should have your bag of hex, pulse chain if you are lucky enough to be there, or pulse hex, which you plan on swapping for pulse when it comes out. So those should be your priority. Now, assuming you've done all of that and you stacked up fat and you want to go dabble in the wallet and the new stuff, that's the first order of business. That should be the leftover money, right? The error most people do when we talk about investing, they spend all the fucking money and then they invest the rest. Where the wise people invest all the money first and then they spend what's left. So in this analogy, the solid project, 99% in my book of your money should be going there. And then the 1% liquid of just sitting around, if you want to play the gambler, for lack of better words, and go try those things, then you go play that game. Why is that important? Because God forbid, knock on wood, I'm not saying they will do that. Like Marco said, we're not endorsing anybody. But God forbid, you sacrifice and those people steal your money and they're gone. At the very least, you're protected that it was a tiny amount. Obviously, those people will be right off in the community right away. But then again, you got to watch out for that. I personally, if you're asking, I would not be sacrificing any of those stuff. I want to make that very clear. If anything happens, I will watch, let it run. And if I'm interested, I don't even know if I will, because I will run the game theory. I need to see that baby in the wild. I need to see it operate.
Yeah,
I need to see the game theory. And more importantly, that's the difference between businessmen and people that talk about business, is I need to watch it happen. Because some people think, oh, it's going to do this, mechanics, right? And then you end up doing something else. Oh, this is a use case. And then all of a sudden, NFTs start to go to a really bear market, right? All the fees start to go down. Nobody's really interested. Next thing you know, you bought something thinking it's going to go up and you didn't. Not saying it will or it will not, but you got to look out. So I like to let it run in the wild first before I even get interested. And the thing about the edge run, at least, is that you can kind of mint the thing free, risk-free, but you still pay for the gas. So it's not fully risk-free. But there is no sacrifice. So if anybody is asking what Karim will do, anything that has a sacrifice, I am not interested. That doesn't mean the product's bad. I'm just not fucking interested. I watch it. It runs, it does well, maybe I get interested, but I have no rush, I have no need. My daily payout are amazing every single day. Hex is paying me amazingly every single day. I am not worried one bit.
I do want to say, right, before we move on to like another topic or so, I'm glad we had this conversation, right? By the way, chat, this was not planned at all, right? I'm glad we had this conversation, right? Because I know for a couple of episodes, people wanted us to talk about different coins, different projects that's coming out and stuff like that. And of course, we wasn't sure, but we don't want, point people to the wrong direction and stuff like that. Plus, it's not our words to say, right? But end of the day, as you see from the panel, right? Listen, we wish you guys the best. I wish everybody the best. I really hope everybody makes it. I hope all these projects coming out do fucking remarkable. I hope we kill it because it'll be another let me correct myself. It'll be another beautiful story of what Richard has done, what the community has done, and what the community has passed on, right? I think that will be a beautiful story that not only did we become wealthy, stuff like that, but we built other stuff that actually help others outside of our realm of Hex and Pulse X and Pulse Chain become wealthy too. At the end of the day, like Spider-Man, great power comes with great responsibility, right? Absolutely. Don't forget that, guys. Whoever's building this stuff, like I said, wish you guys the best. If it does well, I'm gonna be rooting for you guys like no other, right? But like Karim, I'm very worried. I take small steps, right? Yes. Before I go all in on certain things. That's how I am.
Very luxurious right now, thanks to Hex. There is no rush. You're getting paid
exactly.
every day.
I'm very careful what I jump into, who I give my support to, stuff like that. Because little by little, even my words, I don't care if there's only 100 people who listen to me. Those are 100 people I could hurt, right? Exactly. And I don't want to say
basically sit on your ass, wait for the thing to play out, and then if you want to get involved, that's fine. You might miss some of the excess, that's okay. It's better than losing all your fucking
money.
And
the only thing too, I want us to be careful, and this is everybody in this panel and the chat, is it plays it's like double-edged sword, right? You don't want to block something because you think it's very bad and stuff like that, and you do so, and then it turns out it was the next best thing ever, and people lost tremendous amount of gains, right? And vice versa. So we got to play that card.
I mean, we're broadcasters and we're not responsible for people,
of course not,
investing or not investing in things.
Of course not.
And so I wouldn't say that, like, and that's another point I want to make is like,
that's what we
just
say,
because you watch us and listen to our ideas doesn't mean like we're required to do unlimited amounts of research. Like when I say something about something on stream, when I comment on my analysis and what I've learned and read, when I try to educate others and learn, it's because I've done hours of, work on that topic. I really don't just speak off the cuff without any background on things.
I do, for the record. Just
sorry. So
I love you, dude.
People. People get a little entitled, I think, when they spend like hundreds of hours with us, and like, there's a value exchange happening here. Like, we're getting something out of this, and I hope you are too. But at the end of the day, like, just because you give us your attention and everything, like, again, doesn't mean that like you can boss us around and tell us what we need to research and when and that sort of stuff. So it's like, we're all here voluntarily, and we're volunteering.
Nobody pays me shit, guys. I'm here because I enjoy this. And
on that note, this is what I was trying to say earlier, kindly, that I only mentioned those few names and not the other stuff because, again, it's some level of Hexican involved trying to do something that potentially could be good. Anything else, all the hundreds or potential thousands of projects, no, because in the balance of probability, Maddie is right. In the balance of probability, it's going to be 99 shitcoin. 1% good. Now we're trying to catch the 1% and not gatekeep it, which is why we got to do disclosures and disclaimers and watching from the sideline. But at any time we can intervene if we feel like, okay, this shit's not going the way it's going to go. And our energy is well spent researching that 1%, then researching the other 99%, which eventually always end up being a scam because it's a waste of our fucking time and we don't have the bandwidth to go do all of that stuff. So please be careful. Please be warned. I do need to go. Again, I just want to say quickly related to the market.
Love you, bro.
Be very, very careful out there. Not to be Nostradamus, but end of the month is coming very, very soon. Do not let this little fake out play you again. That was just a little Russia news, which we already knew they're not going to go to war. What the fuck they're going to do? You know what I mean? Global economy is already bad. What are they going to do? Add a war to it? No, fuck that. It's just a little cheater chatter. You may got the All-Star game coming in, and there's a little crypto involvement. We might get another fake out because of that. But remember, zoom out. Look at the DXY. Look at what's happening. Nothing fundamental has changed. Fed will be raising rates next month, which is literally a couple weeks from now. Protect yourself. Get your fucking hex in order if you haven't. What Godwell has done is major. And also the bit support is still there doing its thing. And if you look on Hex.vision, a lot of those stakes, big chunk, are ending right by the 28 where that big OA stake ends. After that, it's literally blue sky. There's not that many stakes after that, all the way to May, which should tell you, if you haven't got your hex bag yet, before you start worried about sacrifice this, sacrifice that other coin, ask yourself, is my hex bag in order? Is my T-share in order? Look at what Godwell is doing. He's not worried about any other sacrifice or any other potential. He's
Good
worried about
times ahead.
Hey, remember, when sacrifice stage ends, what happened last time in that show?
Exactly. The copy is coming. So on that note, please be very careful. I am going to an event. Again, onboarding. I got my priorities straight. So another 6 figures. Let's do it.
See you on Friday.
Wait, before you go, bro. There's a word I gotta teach you, right? You want to hit up these girls? Just say jamón con queso, bro. That's all you gotta say.
What
right?
are you talking about?
Right? That's all you gotta say, bro. Just say that. I think if I'm not mistaken, that's ham and cheese. But listen, end of the day, bro, it sounds sexy to these girls. So have fun, enjoy yourself, bro.
Ham and cheese.
English here, right?
I love you, bro. Just be safe out there, buddy. Enjoy. No, don't make no little creams, bro. Protect your steaks, bro.
No, I'm protecting it with my life.
Make me an uncle, bro. Come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No.
I love you, kid.
LOL.
Have a safe, fun.
Great way to transition, Marco. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love you, kid. Later, buddy. He's so funny. No, but that was good, man. Listen,
said we weren't going to talk about wrapped steaks.
I know. I know. You stupid.
Wrap steaks are awesome. They won't pay as well, and some of the game theory is broken, and Hex will perform much better. But hey, that'll be fun, right? No.
Yeah,
Manny's got that kind of grin that sort of it almost looks like
I'm having
an involuntary grin
on the show tonight.
No, honestly, it's great, right?
Going really well.
Yeah, because listen, end of the day, listen, we don't want to do the show always the same way. We talk about charts, we talk about this and that. Sometimes we need to yell at each other. Sometimes we need to talk about, what's on our minds and stuff like that, and just interesting topics. And today, honestly, I think the show was right from the first minute to now. It's been a blast. It's fun, man. I need this. It's fun.
I'm having fun.
Especially when Future gets heated. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Audience is still there, poking fun at us.
Yeah, they are. They're laughing.
So they're enjoying it.
Cursing each other out. But they're here. That's what's important, right? Like, that's cool, man. I love you guys.
Now, Manny, I just got one bone to pick as we cool off from this topic. And
just one?
I thought we agreed way back that I was going to play the Hex Maxi role here, and you were going to do something else. I can't remember what it was. Now, it seems to me that you're being more on the Maxi, and I'm just the Joker or something, which is fine.
He loves
fine.
I mean,
but let's get it straight, though. I mean, going forward. Right?
You were not going to sacrifice for Paul's.
I was not.
And then you did.
You guys convinced me to. Well, you didn't convince me. You peer pressured me. Yeah.
I know what has worked for me, and so I'm very adamant, about representing that position, because I think that, again, like a lot of people who watch the show maybe were early in Hex. I think we have a disproportionate amount of OGs that watch this show compared to some of the new streamers, and thankfully we have a diverse ecosystem of streamers. We saw it on the online Hex conference. We're going to see it at the in-person Hex conference. And when people even stream into that, we're going to have a pretty cool blend of people streaming in and people being there in person. And so, yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, there are people who are bringing in new people to Hex who are going to have different motivations and different like use cases compared to people who have been in much longer. But I kind of, just want to, just share. I'm passionate about being super honest and open. And for me, I like doing this because I get to be the type of broadcaster that I wish there was more of in the world, which is people who don't avoid conflict, people who don't just say things to get popular, people who are, taking it as a huge responsibility to be a broadcaster, because that's one of the checks and balances that there is in the world. when it's used responsibly, when you're selling out your audience or when you're not being completely honest, that I think that can be a slippery slope. Thankfully, I have resolved myself, because it's a struggle to be retired and to still want to put lots of energy and work into things, and then to decide to do it for free, and then other people aren't doing things for free. We created a free front end for Hex, Future Us and I, and other people have made front ends that are not free, like StakeWrap. And
I misunderstood something in the game theory, I'm sure, because I put everything I had into Hex and I didn't get rich, and other people are buying these fancy cars and everything. I'm like, how can they do that if they were staked 555? It just makes no sense. But so
ladders,
ladders. Yeah, I didn't know about ladders. Yeah, that's right.
Chutes and ladders.
Chutes and ladders. Yeah. I see what you did there. Yeah, ladders. So that's me in brooding mode. So that's enough of that. Yeah.
I think Golden Mike wants to join the stream sometime.
Oh.
Who's that?
DJ, the one that loves to sing in the with the golden mic, the beautiful voice.
Oh, yeah. He closed out the Hex conference.
He's great, man. It's funny.
Quite a way to end it this year.
I love his character, right? I love how he is. He's funny, genuine. People like to laugh, all that stuff. But don't get it twisted, guys. That's a smart fucking dude. He knows his shit. He's smart. The way he talks, you could hear. A lot of it, what he says is jokes, but a lot of it's messaging. So I like how he
Dr. Diraj Moray is.
He knows his shit, man.
Yeah.
And he's also a troll in the comments and
Always.
some streams.
Don't get that confused either. I also make jokes, but that does not mean I know what I'm talking about.
No, but you implement the jokes right on time all the time, bro.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, a lot of practice being the clown.
Man. I think we've all been there, man.
What's this? When NZ stream with @HexToken? I don't understand the question. Someone's asking Future Us when NZ stream with @HexToken.
Not sure. Who's Hex?
No. Don't. More info, please.
Yeah, but guys, coming up in the next couple of days, we have the Daytona race coming up. Spread the word. Let your family and friends know. This is beautiful marketing. This is your chance. But all your family members and friends that doubt you and call you crazy and all that stuff, you get to point to that TV. It says, that's Hex. That's us. We did that. Community did that. We sponsored that. That gives you a chance to just bring up your reputation. To your family members and to your friends that said no to you, right? And maybe this time around, maybe they would be like, you know what? Damn, that shit's on TV on NASCAR, right? That's a Super Bowl of NASCAR, right?
I got an email from one dude. He's in the UK now. He's like, "Oh, remember that Hex thing you were talking about a couple of years? I just saw there's this NASCAR thing. You should check it out." And I'm like, dude, it's like,
nice.
What planet do you live on?
Hello.
That's how you know. You
should have sent me the link. Hey, check this shit out.
Bro, you should have sent a picture of a thong with Hex on it and be like, "What's up, bro?" Like, what do you mean? Like, come on, man.
It's like, man. Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. People are funny, bro. People are funny, man. It's funny how that works, right? Like, you try to get people in beyond early, under a penny, all that stuff. And they wait up till the whole world starts talking about it, and they finally want to get in. And they see, and you know what's crazy about that? They see over time, every other month, your life is getting better. You're more happier. You're doing well, all that stuff. And they still don't take the chance. They wait up till mainstream media talks about it, and they want to get in. That's funny. It's funny how people work that way. Maddie probably understands that more than anybody. It's just funny how that works.
There's like an adoption curve in psychology.
I have a bad track
showing
record.
that a certain it's kind of, kind of defining itself by itself. So it's a little bit circular, but this idea of a certain percentage of the population are early adopters versus middle adopters and late adopters of any technology, of any new thing. yeah, that's a thing. And some people, I think, they want to see a critical mass before they get into something. They don't want to acknowledge the risk, and that's one area where when people do get educated about hex, and they learn how it can change their lives, to give them access to something that allows you to send money to your future self. It takes some sinking in for people to get it, and at the same time, it's like when things have existed this long, that's about the moment where people figure out a better way to explain it, or people, there becomes other reasons that motivate people to get in, other than just, oh, it's math, oh, it's immutable.
It's hard to that immutable thing's really hard. Even God is not immutable the way I've ever heard him talked about, right? He can change his mind and stuff. It's a like, I'm serious. I'm being serious. It's a paradigm that it's not existed before on the planet that I'm aware of. Nothing in this universe is unchanging, but the hex contract is. That's a big deal, and other contracts as well, of course. It's it makes it really difficult if you sort of lead with that. More unchanging than God himself. Yeah. Probably not a good lead entry into the topic, but it is. But also, it's hard to understand, and people are going to be standoffish and go, "Wait a minute, what?"
And I would like, comment onto that like, also, if we onboard people and they say like, "Oh, you had me at NASCAR," like that's all you had to say, and I was into this cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
That's not where we want people to end up either. Is not even understanding you can stake hex, not using it correctly, and I think that people will naturally, like, they'll figure it out, the message will propagate. And so even if we do get people in who don't understand it, I mean, that's how we were when we first got in. Not everybody understands it before they get in, and so our goal of helping people get it, I think, is it's something, it's actually not required. So people don't have to be motivated to change in order to change, but it is useful if people are, willing and able to change something or learn something new, or take a big leap. And so whether people are incrementally getting there, or they're going down different marketing filters to get to the same place, that can be a good thing.
I agree, man. I really agree.
Yep.
I do.
What website calculates laddering? There is a site that does that, There's a utility for helping you set up.
Stakehex.today.
Stakehex.today. There you go.
And there's one thing I would like chat to remember, right? And us on the panel, especially in chat, right? Is the rest of the year, Hex is gonna keep on going viral. A lot of stuff is gonna happen. A lot of beautiful news, Pulse Chain, Pulse X. You're gonna have hordes of people coming over in this side and stuff like that. Especially the people who gatekept us, especially the people who talk crap about Hex and Hexicans and Richard Hart and stuff like that. And a lot of these people are gonna change their minds. They're gonna change their tune. And all I ask, and listen, you do what you gotta do, everyone, right? But all I ask is give these people a chance. Let's not throw it in their face. Oh, you for the past 2 years talk shit. Now you want to come on board? No, let them come on board. Right, and we should change crypto, but they're not the main enemy. The main enemy is the people we trying to get away from, the banks and stuff, right? So if we're gonna change crypto as a whole, we got to change Hex, our attitude towards things. We got to change as a community. And like I said, there's plenty of Hexicans I know that at first they hated Hex, they hated Richard, and now they're coming. They're the biggest advocates of Hex itself and with Richard Hart, right? It takes time, so just give these people.
That's a pretty advanced perspective.
We have a certain freedom in this community to be able to do that. Yeah, we have a freedom that projects don't have, and that is that, like, you take that advice and apply it to the original Bitcoin and everything, or Ethereum, anything that's an ongoing project. Because the project can be changed, and because some people will have ideas about how it should be changed to do this and changed to do that or whatever, like, the chain splits in Bitcoin with the different groups of miners that went, nah, it's got to be this way, nah, it's got to be that way. Nothing wrong with any of that. But the fact that Hex is completely immutable and cannot be changed, the contract code itself and the game theory that is locked up in that, gives us a certain kind of sort of leeway, I guess, to be a bit more sort of like, yeah, come and say and do whatever you want, and you know, be a bit more welcoming, and yeah, I think it's all going to turn to shit, but hey, you know, let us try to educate you or whatever, without the risk of having the underlying product messed up or changed because we entertained an idea that turned out not to be a good one, you know, at the real base level. Not to speak against what Matty was mentioning before about the community side of things. That's different. But at the core product level, that's not at risk, and that's nice.
That's a good point that you made, both of you. And I really like this point by Hex Monkey. Thank you for the $50 super chat. I'm just going to read the comment here.
Hex Monkey, he's a legend, bro. This guy.
That's right. I beg of you all to remember, we have different life situations, families, personalities, temperaments, and that informs decisions too. I'm an RH Maxi not due to lack of research, but because that's what I can handle. Others may vary. And Hex Monkey also came on Hex Therapy after the June meetup, and we did an episode talking about you know, coping with anxiety and sticking to a plan. Hex Monkey gave the example that he thought that the price of Hex was going to keep going up, but he was still sticking to his original staking ladder of paying himself every 2 weeks. You know, and that's a really cool, you know, example, I think, of someone who is really using Hex the way that's the best for their mental health.
Exactly.
Because trading for some people is, you know, it's dangerous and it's, you know, it impacts their life in negative ways. And so, you know, I just really love all of the, you know, all of the examples that Hex Monkey shares, and you know, this comment too of recognizing the individual differences in our environments and our experiences and our backgrounds is going to change how we react and take risk and opportunity.
Exactly. And that's true, because listen, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I got 2 kids. You know, my plan is going to be different from yours, Maddie, different from you, Future, different from everybody in chat, right? Do what's best for you, but understand it's your plan, right? And whether you succeed or fall, it's up to you. That's your choice, right? Richard gave you all the knowledge, the community gave you all the knowledge as much as you can, and then you got to just come up with your own plan and do it, you know? And, you know, we're here to help you out. If it falls, you can tweak it here and there, but you got to have a plan and stick to that plan no matter what price is. We could wake up tomorrow, Hex could be $10. Does that mean you dump everything? That's up to you. I suggest stick to your plan, right? Because you never know what can happen.
Sometimes it comes down to just finding something to believe in, even in this new world. It's the ground's moving all over the place. Try to find somewhere you can stand and just be still for 5 minutes is, you know, and I think Hex Monkey, with sticking to his plan and having that thing, you know, that's something, you understand what it is, where it's at, you have some control over it, and some sense of sanity surely comes from that. I've tried, I'll try again. So my hat goes off to you, Hex Monkey. Well done.
And one last thing really quick before, if you decide to move on that topic or not, is like I said earlier, right? So when all these people come on board and stuff like that, guys, if you want to speed up the conversation of Hex, you want to speed up our growth and our stuff, when these people come on board, let's not be jerks, and let's teach them the right way. Let's what we learn, let's pass it on, right? Because the quicker they learn, the quicker they can explain it to their followers and their people, and we can all move as an ecosystem as a whole, right? If we're going to start pointing the finger and doing this and doing that for the next couple of 6 months, 7 months, stuff like that, all you're doing is you're stagnating the growth of Hex and this community itself. So let's not become those type of people, right? Like open arms. And that doesn't mean like there was some people that was just beyond ridiculous and stuff like that. Then yeah, you know, we don't forget, you know, but you know, just let's not become, like I said, we should not all become dictators, right? Like, and this is the land of free. Hex is a community of land of the free. Let's show crypto. This is what we're about, right? Like,
yeah. One of the things that happens that makes that a challenge, of course, that we have to rise to is that, there comes a time when you've heard every argument and everything a zillion times, and you're emotionally just here we go again with this, and historically the Bitcoin maxis as we see them today, I remember that happening. I remember those kinds of things starting to form, and it happens to any group that's been around for a long time, and people that understand more about it because they've had more experience, and new people come along and they're intelligent, bright people, and hey, wouldn't it be better if we could da 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 da, and they've got conviction about it, and it totally makes sense except for one little thing that we might think we know or whatever, and it's so easy to just write that off and be an asshole rather than give them a voice. And so it's really hard. It's really hard finding that balance. And Matty's, and I mean, this is essentially his channel. And you writing that line of where do you go, this way or that way, and how do you
It's not easy. Hats off to Matty. It's not easy. It's not.
It's not easy at all.
You can make the wrong move, and it's
to me it really matters to tolerate differences, and to be open-minded. And I think I've tried to do that, because I value that. And again, I'm going to reiterate the same point that I made earlier is this is a volunteer, this is a decentralized volunteer community. The Hex community and the Hex streamers are, in my opinion, different than other communities, other broadcasters, other coins, and so, but it's also, we do have individual differences, and we do have leagues as well, right? And so when I want to understand what my challenges are going to be in life, and inside and outside of the community, I like to look to the next league above mine and see how those people are acting. And that's, in my experience so far, pretty much how it's going to be for me. It's really incredible to see how, the effect of your monetary environment, what that has on your behavior. And still we have individual differences that I want to emphasize and respect. And I thank you guys for your points and for your differences of opinion, because I think, this idea that we can all get along, this idea that it's okay if we conflict, as long as that's done in a respectful way. At the end of the day, it's, I am legally responsible for what's on this channel. And so, I'm going to do my best job that I can. And I will let you know if I'm taking a profit on something.
Absolutely.
I will be transparent about that. And, I have I have a stake wrap link that I use very rarely, that I don't think I've ever gotten. The wallet's in cold storage, so I actually don't know what my referral system, what my referral bonuses are. Last time I checked, it was like $20. And I was even uncomfortable doing the referral system when Hex was launched. I thought I could get my onboards 30% more coins or 20% or whatever it was. Wow, I'm gonna do it that way. And different people have different comfort levels with getting paid for certain things and all that kind of stuff. But my goal is to be transparent and to do what I believe is best, for giving a stage for people to come on and talk about things, but to also be gatekeeping things that haven't proven themselves or don't exist yet. And that's just the same as I'm not gatekeeping other languages, right? But I don't know them all. I don't use them all. But that's what other people are there for.
How many girlfriends do you have at the moment? Answer wisely.
One.
So, wow. So you discriminated against more than 2 billion adult females on the planet? Dude!
My bad.
You're not supposed to be discriminatory.
Okay, well.
I heard it somewhere.
I need to discriminate what I'm discriminating.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, sorry.
And this one thing
that had context, but I've lost it.
Like one thing I want to say is this, right? So Maddie hit around on the nail, right? We don't get paid for this. I don't make $1 for this, nothing like that. I don't get promised anything. I do this because I enjoy being part of the community, right? And you know when it hit home, really, and it's when it really hit my wife, right? A while back, when she used to see me get ready for streams and jump on this or get ready just to watch streams, even before I started coming on streams, she used to laugh about it, right? Like, oh, you're getting ready to talk to your friends, stuff like that.
I've had that.
I was like, nah, I'm ready to talk. Yeah. I'm going on to talk to my family. Like, this is family, you know? And she didn't understand that. She's like, what you mean? She's like, there's a bunch of strangers. I'm like, no, babe. Like, these are people for the past 2 years I got excited for. I went through hell with. I got excited with this. I got rich with. They took me to another level. I'm like, I haven't told my wife. I'm like, babe, when was the last time you see me this happy, this energetic? You know? She goes, a long time. I'm like, yeah, this is the community that does this, right? And now it hit my wife to the point where she knows Tuesday nights, she helps me when she's home, you know, because she's a nurse, she works at night, you know, if she's home, help me get the kids in bed and do this. Because she knows it's daddy's time to talk to his family, right? Like, you guys are family, right? Like, I want people to understand that. Like, I could be out in the bars, I could be out chilling with friends, I could be playing Call of Duty, all this bullshit, but we here usually 2 to 4 hours, right? Like, dealing with you. I could be having fun with my wife, you know, but I'm here with the fellas, right? And the ladies in the chat, but this is what it's about. Like, this is what we do, guys, right? So
there's got to be a name for what's wrong with us,
right? Like we don't, like, I'm telling you, when you know, when I go to talk to friends and be like, dude, I passed by, seeing you on the street, you was there for like 3-4 hours, like, you fucking crazy. I'm like, how you do it? I'm like, honestly, it's fun. Like, before I first did this, right, I used to ask Maddie, Karim, Wales back then, everybody else, how you guys go for 4 or 5 hours? How you do that shit? Like, what do you guys talk about? And I look at the timer, I'm like, oh my God, it's already 2-3 hours. I feel like it's been 30 minutes, 20 minutes, right? It just, it goes by, and you're having fun with chat, you're having fun with each other, and you're learning. Like, I prefer to be here than to be anywhere else. And I could gladly say that every Tuesday or any other day, anybody wants me on in their streams and stuff like that. Like, I love this. It's fun. And thank you guys. And Maddie, you know, for this channel, thank you, man, because it makes me, you know, get closer to this community. It makes me learn more. I'm up front row learning about this, and I couldn't have it any other way. Like, I really, really enjoy this, and, you know, thank you for this. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. My pleasure. Yeah, it's I was blown away when I realized that there were other people in the world that were also interested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I remember the first time. Yeah, I remember the first time I ever met somebody in real life who wanted to talk for multiple hours about Bitcoin. It was epic. And so to have these streams and to have all come up together, I think is really cool. And that I think that's, you know, one of the big points that we want to celebrate at the Hex conference. You know, it's going to be, instead of a meetup, it's going to be a conference vibe this time. It's going to be, and we could go over this in the future, but you know, it's going to be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you know, so but it's you know, it's going to be just like the Hex online conference, except in person, and we're going to have those moments, you know, to confirm that we're not all just bots.
Exactly.
And to celebrate the community that
we
built for 2 years, and
yeah, you
I think people yeah, I think everybody in the community, like, it really inspires me. It excites me to not just have one person in the world I can talk to about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and things that are even better, like Hex, but now there are hundreds of people that are going to be getting together. There are thousands of people that watch this show every week. So shout out to everybody at home. I know I do want to wrap up here in a minute, because I want to argue with you guys off screen, and then we can talk about like our topic for next week. But
absolutely, man,
I'm really enjoying this.
No, this was a good stream, man. Like, I think this was a little bit of everything, right? A little bit of excitement, a little bit of frustration, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of love, and of course, Future's here, so we got the great jokes, right? Like it's a little bit of everything, and you know, it's fun, man. Like things like this make it worth it. Like I said, honestly, guys, and this I know it sounds corny. You guys are family. Like I prefer to be here than anywhere else, and you know, I made a decent amount of money that I could do almost anything I want. I could be with friends. I could be doing this, and I'd rather be here doing this. Like this is fun, you know, and I appreciate it. You know,
I love that we tackle topics where, you know,
some people don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I quite often have the emotional feeling that, oh man, probably shouldn't say this because, you know, I don't want to lose friendship and everything. Yeah. But I also respect that the people I'm talking to also understand that and that these things, you know, can be important, jokes aside. That's cool. I mean, where else do you get that where it isn't all pre-scripted like for Fox News or something? You know, it's like,
sure. And one last thing before we continue or finish this, like guys, and I want to make sure chat understands this, right? If me and Maddie ever goes back and forth arguing about a certain topic, or me and Future, or one of us, or other Hexicans, stuff like that, please don't try to hype each other up to just make us fight, stuff like that. Because then they were brothers. We're always gonna have differences. This is what it's about. Because if I don't challenge what Maddie says, or he doesn't challenge what I say, or any of us, right? Then what's the point of doing any of this, right? This is what we should be doing, and we should all be supporting each other and stuff like that, right? That's how we get better. So let's not fight in the chat about certain things. I don't need kudos points. Nobody needs kudos points. We don't need pitchforks and gangs and Crips and Bloods. We don't need any of that, right? Like, at the end of the day, we need ecosystem, a mastermind group of conversation, and this is what it is. It's a beautiful conversation amongst people that we love to be around. So I love
the world's losing that, even at our universities. Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Let's not be cancel culture.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, the way I get clear about what I believe and what I understand in this world is by having those beliefs challenged and to see if they hold up. Because what's the point of holding a belief if it won't hold up? Exactly. Right? I'm just kidding myself. Great point. But this whole sort of SJW super PC cancel culture nonsense thing is just
I hate it.
It's so hard. God, I can't wait till it's over. But
thanks to
this is good. This is how it's done, people.
That's right. Thanks to Hex19 for the $20 super chat. A great stream as always. Go Daytona 500 and Hex Conference.
Another
See
legend.
Many of you at the conference. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. So
good, man.
And that's another reason why I'm needing to wrap up a little bit early tonight. Yes, Hex19 is famous. Because I gotta go get the DeLorean tomorrow. I gotta get it to Florida. Gotta get it to Vegas after that. You know, it's all super busy. It's gonna be a super busy 18 days here to get everything ready for the conference. But again, if you're a speaker, make sure to do the speaker survey that I DM'd you on Telegram or Twitter, and we're gonna be live. So somebody asked, "Is the Hex Conference
something about the ticket
online?" And the answer is yes. So hexpo.vegas day one landing page is up. Oh, I thought I pasted the.
Hey, Maddie, somebody asked a question. I think it's Be Bullish saying something about it looks like when he tried to buy tickets, it's saying that it ends in 6 hours. Is that true or not? It was like a timer there.
Every week I have to renew it.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
I haven't done that this week. I normally do it by now, but I have to go in and look at how many tickets have sold and how many tickets are left, and then do a new round because it allows us to take out the money each week and pay the vendors. So
got it.
Awesome. So super excited to see everybody in Vegas and in Daytona. It's a really exciting time. We had the God Whale stake $1 billion hex today, which is $200 million, creating history here in the entire DeFi ecosystem. And then we talked about a lot of other things that are important to us and are worth a listen. So if you haven't caught the whole episode, make sure to go back because this was a good one. This was one for the history books. And thanks to you two for being here. there are links in the description below for the Hex conference for the people who are on the show, and that's all I got for now.
That was great, guys. Great chatting. Everyone in the chat, thank you. This was fun. Glad everyone had a good time. It was cool. Another great episode for the books.
Your tolerance is welcome.
I'm going to play this outro and then
love ya.
Come back for the thumbnail.
That's right.
The invention of cryptocurrencies brought us alternatives to the traditional financial system. Hex is the next step in that evolution, designed to replace high-interest time deposit savings accounts. Stake your Hex coins for a fixed time period, and once your stake expires, Hex pays you the interest you're owed. The longer lockdown period you choose, the higher interest rate you receive. Hex is a smart contract built on top of the Ethereum network, providing you trustless, decentralized interest without any banking fees or middlemen. Bitcoin miners generate about 650,000 coins a year in total. They have to sell most of it to cover their high electricity costs, forcing down the price of Bitcoin on the market. Rather than paying miners, Hex pays the stakers instead, who have no mining costs pushing down the price of Hex. And the more people stake their coins, the less will be available on the market for buyers, which in turn increases the price of Hex. However, if less people stake, then the contract automatically increases the amount of interest earned by the remaining stakers. This balance ensures that it's always beneficial to be a staker. Hex is free for Bitcoin holders. If you held Bitcoin during the snapshot on the 2nd of December 2019, then you can free claim your Hex during the launch phase, which lasts for a year. During this period, you can also transform Ethereum into Hex. And of course, you can already buy Hex on a growing number of exchanges. If you are a Bitcoin holder, why not hold your investment in an asset that actually rewards you for holding?
That's good.
Is this true? Did somebody? I'm not sure if they're just listing it.
I'm reading right now
at the price, or if you can actually buy it on Coinbase now. But that would be like huge breaking news if.
I think maybe they remember back then we talked about that wallet of Coinbase and stuff. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Oh, the Coinbase wallet.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Hex in the wallet, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can buy Hex.
But can you buy it? Okay, well, we'll look into that and tweet about it. But
that would be crazy.
Here's our thumbnail.
Wait, hold on. 1 second. I gotta look pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Everybody got their makeup done. All right, I'm gonna hit